67 of Lauren Healy with Fun Hammer Off-Road Team with his buddy Jesse Amex riding shotgun, and that 2021 Ford Bronco. They call that one Bucky.
I find it staggering that these vehicles are still ready 3 years old. Okay, making his way down towards the finish line now. It is Roger King in the 624. Crosses the line. Roger King goes into second position with a 110. So steady run there. Still waiting for the time.
Sergio's time. Doug Lamford taking off. Took off hard, but then completely checked up. Doug Lamford and Rob Craven riding shotgun out of Greensboro, North Carolina, with Outlaw Off-Road Racing and a Jeep JL with a 392 Hemi. There is Mick Henson taking off with Henry Lucci riding shotgun out of fairly local, out of Tahlequah, Oklahoma, with Rusty Nail Racing.
Okay, and while that's all happening, Lauren Healy breaks into the lead with an astonishing 56 seconds there, followed by Sergio Pilanos, who's coming in there in also sub 1 minute with a 59.81.
I think my guess of
really flying.
Yeah, my 50-second guess earlier today, I think is going to get broke.
Yeah, big time.
Lauren Healy and that Bronco
doing a really great job out there. Remember, this is qualifying for Ultra4 USA, and Doug Lamford letting that Hemi run out. He'll have a great time there.
Yes, Doug Lamford.
Doug Lamford moves into third place with a minute 02.
Solid run there from Doug. That's a big car to get round this track. And going off the line now, it is Mr. Sean Rance.
That is actually his son, John Rance, with Andrew Anderson riding shotgun out of Farmington, New Mexico, with Mud Nut Racing and another Ford Bronco. So Mick Henson crosses the line. We should get a time for him. He moves in that little Toyota into third place with a 101.
Oh, he'll be pleased with that. Is he still running the 4-cylinder in that vehicle?
Yes, he rebuilt it just before Legends.
Wow. Still life in the old girl yet. And off the line now is the 4689
of Brexton Glines and his brother Caden Glines riding shotgun out of American Fork, Utah, with Glines Motorsports and a Jeep JL. His dad, Kendall Glines, will be running the Amsoil Hot Pits during tomorrow's race. So we'll be kicking off tomorrow with the 4900 class. We have two separate races going on tomorrow with UTVs. We put the pro mods by themselves, and then we did the stock and the opens tomorrow for UTV racing.
And
so
people might be wondering why we've done that. The reason we've done that is we've got an incredibly high entry here. The UTV classes just keep on growing as we watch John Rance making his way down the start-finish straight in that fantastic-looking Bronco.
And John Rance is running a manual 7-speed in that Bronco. It's pretty cool to see.
And
I hear a lot of noise in the woods coming out. There is Albert Contreras with his son Tristan riding shotgun out of Compton, California with Jeep Thrills Off-Road and another Jeep JL. We'll have a time for Brexton Glines here very shortly, but the time to beat right now is Mr. Lauren Healy with that 56.457.
Yeah, it looks like John Rance might have had an issue down in the woods there, coming across the line in a 116.
There are 13 4600 Spider Track stock class cars they'll be taking off.
And it's something we need to talk about here, Mars, is we're going to be seeing our big guns going later on in the qualifying session. How's this course going to hold up? Is this course going to start to break down as this qualifying session gets deeper and deeper?
Well, we saw it just this morning during pre-running, how deep those ruts. We walked through those ruts, and they're already a 1.5 foot deep coming out of the woods to that hard 90 right coming towards the race line start-finish.
Yeah, and we're watching Levi Shirley powering out of there earlier during practice.
Did a little wheel stand.
Yeah, waggling wheels in the air as he brought Linda around the corner, so it's going to be interesting to see what these cars can do. But the ones I think, though, that we're going to see very impressive times for are going to be those UTVs, particularly in the Pro Modern Open classes.
We have just a few more.
Okay, and talking about UTVs, our first of the UTVs is lining up now. It's car 188.
That is Mr. Terry Madden, one of our Mid-America Outdoors ambassadors. Terry Madden out of Yucca Valley, California with Terry Madden Racing. He's doing a little bit of everything this week. He's got a super busy schedule helping out with Rallycross. Nitro Cross and Nitro Circus. Great to see Terry out here racing with us once again.
Yeah, I caught up with Terry last night, and he was telling me all about what's going on here at Mid-America, and it's absolutely fantastic. The passion, the drive that they have for this park is incredible.
And Terry Madden is off. I'll be interested to see if they can bump off Lauren Healy's fast this time of the day.
I know he'll be very upset if he doesn't, so we'll wait and see what he can deliver. Now, you were saying about 50 seconds. I think Terry could actually probably get close or even beat that 50 seconds.
I think a UTV is going to be one of the faster cars on this course. It is a 1/3 mile qualifying course here during the Can-Am Visions Week. This is Ultra4 USA qualifying. And off the line next is Mr. Dustin Robbins out of Decatur, Alabama, with all things UTV. And both of these cars are in the Pro Modified class. They'll be racing within their own. There should be just shy of 30 cars racing tomorrow and qualifying today. So let's talk about qualifying. All UTVs will qualify as they come. First come, first serve. But tomorrow they'll be racing within their class. So we'll get a time from Terry Madden. Remember, you can go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same live timing we have here in the Can-Am booth. That is Robert Price with Natural State Racecraft taking off. So we'll have a time for Dustin Robbins here shortly. Be sure to tune in to AOE.TV. With a 53.4, so great run by Papa Poe.
Papa Poe. Enjoying himself.
Off the line next is Jody Ford and Brandon Irwin. We're 140 out of Hartland, Indiana with Brandon Motorsports. He's part of the 4900 stock class. We have 3 separate classes that'll be racing tomorrow. In the UTV class, we have stock production, pro mod, and open. Up next is the number 77 of Glenn Jung out of Austin with 77 Motorsports in his Can-Am in the Pro Modified class. There is a lot of action going on here, Jim. So, again, please stay with us. Go to all of our Facebooks. We got Ultra4 USA, Mid-America Outdoors. Check it out. Leave some comments. Hashtag blow this thing up. This is the Can-Am Visions Week as we see Jody Ford crossing the line, bumping into that third position with a 58.09. So the fastest time of the day thus far is Dustin Robbins with a 46.264.
And that's the 904 of Mike Park there making his way out. Also in the 4900 Pro Modified class, Renault Can-Am with CT Raceworks, Double E Racing Shocks, Evo Power Sports, Turner Axles, rugged radios, and a whole host of other goodies on that vehicle as coming back round right now. Who's this, Miles?
That's Byron Starrett. We should get a time for him here. He just moves into second position.
Oh, and look at this.
50.264.
Yeah, fantastic run there, but it's still that man, Dustin Robbins.
By 4 full seconds.
That's
it's faster
massive,
than everybody in the field thus far, but we still have a lot of heavy hitters yet to come.
Let's just talk about some of the people that we have got coming out on course.
And
we have, of course, got Paul Wolf. We've got Kyle Cheney.
Kyle Cheney off the line as we speak. The Beaver Run Road Bandit out of Ohio with Team Momentum Racing in that Can-Am. And I My first guess was going to be Kyle Chaney. He's won our first 2 Ultra4 USA races. He won King of the Hammers. He hasn't lost an Ultra4 race yet this season. It's definitely his race to lose. We'll see what happens, how it shakes up. But Kyle Chaney, I suspect, to have a super, super fast day. They nicknamed him the Ghost back in the day because once you see him, you follow him for a little bit, he's gone. He disappears. He checks out.
Yeah, he's incredibly quick, but I think we might have a problem down on course. Oh, no, here we go. There is Kyle Chaney.
So Kyle Chaney, can he beat Dustin Robbins with a 46.264? He does. Our new pole setter is Kyle Chaney with a 45.287. Great, great run by Kyle Chaney. That guy is an absolute animal behind the wheel.
He is indeed, but there's still plenty more heavy hitters out there. We've still got Paul Wolf to come. We've also got that man himself. Lots of other big hitters out there as well that can do some damage out there, including Jamie McCoy. Now, Jamie McCoy hasn't had the best of seasons recently.
But he is a woods racer, so this is his course.
Exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. We've also got Travis Zollinger in there, who will also be wanting to be very fast out there today. And so we have over 100 UTVs that are going to be qualifying and racing with us this weekend. It's astonishing to see the rise of the 4900 class.
Yeah, it's really, really cool to see what everybody is coming out with. We saw the CA technologies, we see CT technologies. They're building specific race cars for Ultra4 USA. You know, used to you just buy one, you put the safety gear on, you go race it. Now they are building complete full chassis, all the safety equipment, and they are absolute works of art.
And we're just waiting on the start line at the moment. It looks like we might have a rollover on course. We're just trying to find out right now. But sitting on there right at this moment is car number 28. We'll try and find out who car 28 is. We'll get back to you very shortly. But we're talking about this earlier on this qualifying course. I believe it's about the third corner down in there. It is quite nasty, isn't it? And it's already caught out quite a few vehicles. We saw it catch out Tom Biddle earlier. Came back with some severely adjusted body work on his Toyota. And it looks like it's caught out someone else.
Yeah, there was 14 rollovers this morning just during pre-running at 25 miles an hour, I hope.
Which tells you that it's not a 25-mile-an-hour corner, Miles.
Our next Ultra4 USA race is in Pottsville, Pennsylvania at famous Reading Outdoors for our second Eastern Series race. We have never raced there before. I'm excited to get there. But right now, this is Can-Am Visions Week. This is a double points race. King of the Hammers was double points. Visions is double points. And then Lake Havasu at the end of the year, another double points race. So these are very important and very awesome races to have.
Indeed. So Lake Havasu, that's going to be our Legends of the Fall, which are going to be taking place in October.
We had it just down the road in Disney, Oklahoma last year, but we're stepping up the game and going to Lake Havasu.
Yeah, I'm really excited by that. The growth of this is incredible. And we were talking about Crandon the other day and the growth there as well. It'd be great to visit that place. This year there's going to be a set-aside area for the Ultra4 races, and we're back in action here as the 778 makes his way back round. And on the line now, it is the 354 of Chris Johnson, powering his way into the woods. Beautiful CST livery there. Be interesting to see what he can do.
What a great day of qualifying. It was a little quiet this morning because we had all that rain. The Mid-America Outdoor Side-by-Side Championship Series was supposed to race today, but the track was too wet, so they had to cancel that.
And 28 crosses the line, and we'll get a time for you in a moment.
And taking the line right now is the number 926 of Tyler Gibbs with P.J. Holiday out of Cattlesburg, Kentucky, with Gibbs Racing in his CA Technology Can-Am.
And the 354 crosses the line there. That's Chris Johnson. And Chris Johnson moves into 4th place and 1st in the UTV stocks with a 47.213.
So let's talk about that. We have 3 different classes that are qualifying. We have the stock production. You have to have an OEM chassis, must use stock suspension points, reinforcing is allowed, must run front body and side plastics, 33-inch max tire.
Yeah, then we've got the Pro Modified UTVs, which is probably the most competitive class out there. Got to be based on an OEM chassis. Aftermarket chassis are allowed. Must use stock suspension pickup points, reinforcings allowed, must run the full front plastics. 1000cc maximum engine, aftermarket turbos can be used, and a maximum of a 35-inch tyre. But just get your head around that, Miles. 35-inch tyres on these vehicles.
And they're talking about moving up to 37s also, so we'll see how that shakes out. And then the open class is open. 2000 max engine, dream it, build it, race it. Out on course right now is a 143 Tyler Rimreed, the MAO ambassador himself, out of Bennington, Nebraska, with TR Racing.
So sitting at the top of the pile at the moment is that man, Kyle Cheney, with an astonishing 45.287. In second position behind him is Dustin Robbins with a 46.26.
So I was 5 seconds off my guess. I think it's going to be very hard to beat Kyle Cheney's time of that 45.287. Dustin Robbins was 1 second behind him. Kyle Cheney threw down an amazing run. I think he's going to be hard to beat.
Indeed. And that was Tyler Remereed there crossing the line. And we're just waiting for a time to come up for him.
Looks like a 56.770, so that puts him 6th in the Pro Modified class, 12th overall.
We're just waiting for the next cars to come around now. And we've got a change. In 3rd position goes Tyler Gibbs in the car 926. So fantastic run there from him with a 46.3. So there's plenty of action here out on course as we wait now for the 106. And that is Stephen Rogers sitting on the line patiently.
So right now, sitting in that pole position, Kyle Cheney gets an extra 7 points. And then it's double points race, so it's normally 7, so that means it's 14. And then if you win tomorrow's race, it's another
2,000 points going for East-West and the national championship.
There's big points to play for here at the 2023
Can-Am Divisions Week. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be a long week, Jim. Again, I am Miles Asquith alongside the one and only Jim Marsden, and we are going to bring you some of the best racing action we can here at Mid-America Outdoors in Jay, Oklahoma.
And it looks like somebody else is having a problem with gravity down on our course as the qualifying comes to a halt for the moment. The recovery crews are in there making sure they're safe.
I hear you, buddy. Can you hear me? Oh, hey, can you turn your back off? It's a bit nice. I'm joking. Holy cows.
Hopefully we'll be having qualifying going very shortly.
And speaking about Jay, Oklahoma, the population here is only about 2,500 people. Elevation's 1,000 feet. Grand Lake is just down the road, and we are in the foothills of the Ozark Mountain Range. Here at Mid-America Outdoors. Mid-America Outdoors has 1,600 acres out here, Jim, and you've only seen a little bit of it. It is absolutely beautiful here.
I have indeed, and I believe this is Todd Remereed making his way around.
Old Turbo Todd Rimreed. He's racing the side-by-side MAO series as well.
Yeah, he's a retirement, so I'm guessing that he had a problem down there. The fact that he's running would make me wonder that he has had a problem with gravity and fallen over on that corner that we were talking about earlier.
We saw his son Tyler Rimreed run just a little bit ago.
So let's just have a quick rundown on our top 4 in the UTV Pro Modifieds. In 4th position
is Mike Park.
In 3rd is Tyler Gibbs.
In 2nd is Dustin Robbins.
And in 1st is the man on a charge, is Mr. Kyle Cheney with an astonishing 45.287.
And then Lauren Healy was the fastest one in the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
Yeah, and let's just have a look now. If we just look down in 5th position, it's our 1st position in the UTV stocks, and that is Chris Johnson in the 354.
In 2nd in the stock class is Byron Sterrett.
And in 3rd in the UTV, it is Jody Ford.
And in the open class, 1st is Robert Price. 2nd is
It's Papa Poe, Mr. Philip Poe himself. Great to see him back out here racing. Now, that truck hasn't actually been on course since King of the Hammers earlier this year, and he wasn't racing it there. So I know that he's a little bit worried because he hasn't done any of the prep on this vehicle himself.
He was driving around the park the other day, and we waved at, he just got here. We waved, how's it going? He's like, well, I guess my ball joints are still broke from hammers, so I'm heading to go fix those. Just found that out. And third in the open classes.
There are levels of prep, and there are levels of prep.
Third is Cameron Dick in the open class. Remember, we have 3 different classes racing or qualifying today for Ultra4 USA.
Indeed.
They will be scored separately. Tomorrow we will kick off the 4900 stock and open at 1 p.m. and then at 3 p.m. it'll be the Pro Modified, and then at 5 p.m. it'll be the 4600 Spider Track stock class.
There's going to be so much fantastic racing this weekend. And we are here for the qualifying at the 2023 Visions presented by Can-Am at Mid-America at Jay, Oklahoma. It's a fantastic day. The sun is shining, there's a few white clouds in the sky, and it's hard to believe we had those fantastic thunderstorms first thing this morning.
It was pretty wild for the 3rd annual Can-Am Visions Week.
And I heard rumours that there was actually JT doing a naked rain dance last night after the bar closed that caused
I could
this
see
to
that
happen.
We definitely needed some rain out here on some of these open pastures. Tomorrow's race is an 8-mile course. They'll race for an hour and a half plus a lap. So at an hour and a half, the white flag comes out and they'll be battling. I'm going to guess they're going to be around that 14-ish minute mark on an 8-mile run.
Yeah, it's going to be something around there, but it's going to be a lot of very, very tight technical racing now. Last year we saw a lot of dust, and the dust took a big part of this race. Now, I was chatting to JT, and he was saying it's going to still be dusty, but it's not going to be as bad as it was last year.
Last year was
very
a little
different
tricky.
course.
So that's why we split up the UTV class to give some more room out there.
Yeah, and off the line now, we've got Stephen Rogers in the 106. He's been patiently waiting for his turn to go.
Out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, with R Motorsports and a Polaris Pro XP. MRT Tires, Extreme Razor Performance.
Yeah, and sitting on the line waiting to go is Cam Zollers in the 395. And he's going to be racing in the 4900 Open class. And he's off the line now in that 395. Sounds fantastic, lighting up the wheels there.
Out of Canton, Ohio, with Cam's Motorsports, another Polaris Razor out there taking the line. And the time to beat still is Kyle Cheney with that 45.287.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to need to see something special from either.
Oh, we got a rollover coming out of the woods.
Yeah, now we were talking about this is the last bend. Now, there are multiple lines here that the UTVs can take. There is actually a shortcut line that they can utilise and come out and turn immediately right, or they can take that longer line, and it looks like you took that longer line, and you were talking about the ruts earlier, Miles.
They are super dug out right there.
Exactly.
They got a victory.
Yeah. So it
We'll
looks
get
like
a rerun.
395 will get a rerun.
So Steven Rogers will have to take a rear start.
You might want to put a yellow flag down.
So tough break for Rogers.
And it's just so easy to do here, isn't it? And to catch those bicycles when they come up on 2 wheels like that, it's really tough. Now, you're a 4900 racer at heart. You're a side-by-side guy.
I used to do it, and it's a lot of fun. But you can push as hard as you want, but as soon as it grabs that bicycles up, it can take you anytime.
Yeah.
They're super fast, super nimble, super light, but anything can happen. When you put the helmet on, put the visor down, it's go time.
Yeah, so 395, he's going to get a rerun. He's just re-racking right now.
That is Cam Zollers will get a rerun because they do have 2 cars on the course, and if there is an issue, just like we saw Rogers roll over, Cam Zollers does get a rerun. Only if it's somebody else's fault.
Absolutely.
So Steven Rogers does not get a rerun. He gets a start in the back of the pack. But remember, tomorrow's race is on adjusted time. So the person that leaves the line last has just the same advantage as the person who leaves the first, except for lap traffic. And dust and more dust.
Yep, he's going to be chewing dust all day long. He'll be using his rugged radios, pumpers, that's for sure. Try and blow that dust out of the helmet.
And Cam Zollers is off the line once again.
Now, this is one of these awkward ones when you're a driver. You've just laid down the best half a lap you've done so far in your practice. You're feeling really good, and now you've got to take a rerun.
Or isn't it an advantage?
Well,
because he missed the line the last time, so now he knows where to pick it up.
Yeah, what I find in these situations is that you now go too fast, and then you push a problem into a corner. Okay, as we wait there now for Cam Zollers to make his way around.
The course
sitting on the line now is that an 87 or is that a 97 I see there?
I believe that's the 817. So that is Brian Hamby, but guess who's driving for Brian Hamby? Mr. James Cantrell. he started work on his cart late, so he didn't get it done like normal.
I was going to say,
and it wasn't even his car.
Are you talking about James Control not finishing a car to come racing?
He says it wasn't his car, so it wasn't his fault, but now he's racing somebody else's car. Yeah, remember, he was with us. He was remote online with us in Montana. He joined us online, so he was here at Mid-America while we were in Montana. So he does a little bit of everything, helps us behind the scenes. Preps cars, races cars, does a little bit of everything. So now, Mr. James Cantrell's about to take off. But where's Cam Zollers?
Cam Zollers, this is what I was talking about, Miles. This is where it bites you. What a shame for Cam Zollers. It looks like he's been bitten down in the bottom of the woods.
There's lots of chatter over the Rugged Race radios. Our safety crew down in the woods is super busy. So a huge shout out to all of those guys as well. The Can-Am Visions Week is proving to be a don't-miss event. We have Ultra4 Racing, Nitro Circus, Nitro Rallycross. Dennis Anderson and company has been there in the past. Weston Anderson set a world record longest mega trunk jump, 225 feet 2 years ago. We have MAO side-by-side, rodeo, pit bike racing, Barbie Jeep, a little bit of everything. What else can you miss?
I saw that jump a few years ago on the internet. That was absolutely wild, wasn't it?
It was amazing. I was right in the middle of it. It was so much to see. It was kind of scary thinking how far he's going to jump, and then flatlands, it bounces, and then he was so excited. He just did tricks until that car came apart, and came apart it did.
Yeah, it was a full-on yard sale at that point.
Tomorrow we will be handing out some amazing trophies thanks to Cody Wagner and Lasernut. They'll be wrapped by 360 Wraps.
And still we're just waiting now for Cam Zollers to be recovered from course. Now, on this course, tyre size, let's talk about that for a moment, because these cars can run up to a 35-inch tyres.
Yeah, the stock class is 33.
And 33. Is there an advantage to going back to a 33 or even to a smaller tyre for this type of course?
I don't think so, because we were just talking about those ruts, and we've seen the ruts biting you. I think you need the ground clearance, so I don't think I see what you're saying, because you can get more wheel speed, but on a course like this with the ruts, I think I would run the bigger tyre.
Now, we talk about that, but then the UTVs are going to be going out on the course before the 4400s are out there. So do you think that's still an advantage? Or are we still going to see those ruts breaking up when these guys are doing their pre-running? And if anybody's at home who doesn't realise, these guys do get to pre-run this course. So they'll be out there right now. Well, in fact, I believe there might even be some of the bigger cars out there on course right now while they're waiting for a qualifying slot.
Yeah, I've been lucky enough. JT Taylor, our race director, and I have been out on course the last full week, cutting trees, making course, and we had it pretty figured out, and they found some pretty interesting lines. The course is extremely burned in, but the ruts are already there at 25 miles an hour pre-run speed. I think the course is going to get pretty beat up, and by the time the 4400 class races, those berms, those ruts are going to be deep.
So these guys with the 33s, they're going to be pumping up even harder to make them 33 and a halves?
I think so.
Okay, looks like we're about to go live now. It's James Contrell driving Brian Hamby's side by side
for 817 Racing.
And we can see JT there, just stood there with the flag. So he'll just be waiting for the course officials. He'll just be waiting for the course officials to give him the green light, and we'll be away.
Off the line right now is Mr. James Cantrell driving for Brian Hamby. Part of the 4900 stock class. So running those 33-inch tires.
And lining up on the course now is Tanner Edmonds out of Cadlesburg, Kentucky. He's in the 4900 stock class. Can-Am, Maguire, and Edmonds excavating.
With
excavate my words there for a moment.
So we're off. We have two cars on this third mile of a course. It's mainly trees until you come out on that hard 90 right. We've seen it bite a few people. But what a great little qualifying run this is. It's a super quick, super technical, super tight, and super fun.
Here comes Jay Contrell in Brian Hamby's UTV. And he crosses the line, and let's see if we can find him.
He moves into
it
fourth
looks like he's
in class,
fourth
ninth
in
overall.
class and 9th overall. So a great run there from James with a 51.9.
And off the line right now is fresh off his win in Rush, Kentucky, is Jason Wofford, the number 430 out of Ashland City, Tennessee, with Razor Extreme. He's one of those Polaris RS1 single-seaters. But this is going to be a great time.
Yeah, that is
for Tanner Edmonds, too.
It is. Tanner Edmonds. Let's see where he pops up now, because it did look very fast. Tanner Edmonds, he is 4th in class and 9 overall.
Just bumped Cantrell out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the 335
of Colin Smith out of Ashland, Kentucky, with BRS Motorsports. Another beautiful Can-Am out there on course.
There he comes now, making his way onto the line. Here's the 430 there. Jason Watford. And he crosses the line. Let's see where he can see where he comes. And there is Jason Woodford there with a 52.5, 11th overall and 6th in UTV stock.
That is Reed in a Hurry Murnahan with Gavin Smith riding shotgun out of South Point, Ohio, with AR Racing.
That's 335 there. That is Colin Smith. Sounded like he might have been in low box then.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Most of these cars have a high and a low.
They do indeed. So they have 2 ratios. So they can either use the low box or they can use the high box. Now, what the advantages of using the low box is that you get more torque and therefore more acceleration. The problem with that is you don't get to stretch the gears out. So we just saw Colin Smith coming across the line, screaming hard. To me, low box is the wrong gear to be in on this course.
Oh, for sure. I would keep it in high gear only, unless you're on a steep climb where you have some issues, which is not here on this course.
Absolutely. That is the 410 there.
That's Reed in a Hurry Murnahan with AR Racing. Off the line next is Chris Ambergy. Ambergy himself with Alex Cummins riding shotgun. Number 120 out of Sulphur, Kentucky with PRR Racing in his Polaris Razor. And the fastest time to beat still is Mr. Kyle Cheney with that 45.287 here at the Can-Am Visions Week during Ultra4 USA qualifying.
Yeah, and at the moment it's the UTV Pro mods that are dominating our top 4. But in 5th position and first in the UTV stock class is Chris Johnson. We saw him run earlier on today with a 47.2, so a great run there from Chris Johnson.
Taking off the line right now is JT Strickland out of High School, Tennessee with 865 Racing in his Polaris RS1. So we'll get a time for Mr. Chris Ambergy here shortly. Remember, you can also go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same timing we have here in the Can-Am booth. Well, the race line start-finish line has been exciting to watch. Lots of action coming across there.
And the action continues here as the 712 leaves the line.
That is Eric DeYoungie, EZ, out of Michigan with DBR1 Raceworks. And did you hear him shifting gears? That may have been a Yamaha.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He used to race a Polaris, I'm pretty sure, so he switched her up a little bit. Yeah, most of these UTVs are a CCV, so a belt-style transmission. So it's high gear or low gear, and you hit the gas and it adjusts itself. But then some of the Yamahas and some of the Hondas out here have a gearbox like a normal vehicle, and you can shift gears.
They do indeed, but they're also what we call a sequential gearbox, so they don't have to use a clutch.
Off the line right now is the 113 of Aaron Lynch out of Powell, Tennessee with MFN Performance. Running his Can-Am, MRT, CD Raceworks, ZRP, Tires, Time Lynch, and MRT.
You can hear him pulling the gears there as he makes his way across the line.
So Easy will get a pretty good little time. Chris Ambergy moves into 6th in Pro Modified, 9th overall.
But nobody is troubling our top 5 right now.
There's Corey Willis, number 1793, out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, with PPEI Racing.
And we watched Aaron Lynch just crossing the line there, and Aaron is absolutely flying. 6th overall and 2nd in UTV stock, so a great run there from Aaron Lynch. And still the action continues here as the 3622 crosses the line, and that is Adam Kutz. Racing in the Pro Modified class, Can-Am with RCVs, Raceline wheels, MRT tyres, and equals Motorsports.
Perryville, Missouri, that's racing.
Yeah,
he comes from the rock bouncing world. Cool to see him racing with us here at Ultra4 USA. And Corey Willis, I think, just threw down a great time.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see where Corey comes there.
Corey Willis, 6th overall in the Pro Modified. Sorry, 6th in class in the Pro Modified. So that'll be a great starting
10th
point for
overall,
him.
so a great little run there.
Off the line right now is Mr. Caden Hunt, the young man himself. We'll see his dad, Chad Hunt, and his mom, Nikki Hunt, racing later on today out of Plymouth, Indiana, with Hunt's Motorsports in a Polaris RS1.
Oh, we just see that Adam Kutz crossing the line. This could be a reasonably fast time. This might be top 10. Yes, it is. He goes into 8th overall and 6th in UTV Pro Mod. So great run there from Adam Kutz with a 49.77. That is the 599, just leaving the line now. And 599 is Brendan Minnick, coming out of Indiana, and he is in the 4900 Open class.
This is his first race with us here out of Roanoke, Indiana, with 599 Incorporated. And that Polaris Pro R, I was walking through the pits yesterday, and they were still working on that car. It's a brand new race car, but he's out here racing with us. So Brandon Minnick, welcome to the Ultra4 USA family. And speaking about his first race with us, if you've never raced Ultra4 USA, come on out. The first round is on us. We will waive your entry fee.
Yeah, as the
There's another Wofford.
Leaves the line.
That is Jason Wofford's son, Mitch Wofford, out of Ashland City, Tennessee, with Razor Extreme.
And there goes the 599 crossing the line now. 599, of course, is Brendan Minnick.
And he just moves into first place in the UTV Open. His first Ultra4 USA qualifier in the Open class. He's got to be super pumped on that Pro R.
Well, we haven't seen too many of these Open class vehicles there. Now let's talk about the Pro R, because this is the one, this is the vehicle. So this is a 2-litre
2,000cc.
Yeah, 2,000cc UTV, produced by Polaris, and they're going to our Open class.
Off the line, we just saw was the 111 of John Seaman with his dad, John Candia, riding shotgun out of Marion, North Carolina, with GFG Racing in his Pro Mod class.
And Mitch Wofford, he crosses the line.
So Nelson Sparks takes off the race line start-finish out of Phoenix, Arizona, with Sparks Racing. Part of the Pro Modified class during the Can-Am Visions Week. This is Ultra4 USA qualifying. Getting everything set up for tomorrow's race.
Yeah, and Mitch beats his dad, Wood Jason, there. Mitch puts in a great run, 8th overall and 6th in Pro Mod. So great run there from Mitch. And number 64 is on the line right now. 64 is Kirk McKay.
That is Kurt Mackey, the Rocket, out of Elkhorn, Nebraska, with TR Racing. Another Polaris RS1 single-seater.
His first Ultra4 race was with us in Rush, Kentucky in 2023. As the 519 now crosses the line. That was Nelson Sparks.
We still have a whole line of UTVs out there, Jim. This is great. Shy of 100 UTVs racing with us here at Ultra4 USA. The number 417 of Justin Barth out of Springfield, Missouri, with Barth Racing. He'll be racing the 4800 Branding Motorsports Legends class also later on today. Kurt Mackey heading across. the race line finish.
So doing a great job there. Now let's have a quick look here at our top 4 at the moment. In 4th position and also 4th in Pro Mod, it is Mike Park. In 3rd
is Tyler Gibbs.
In 2nd, it's Dustin Robbins.
And the fastest man of the day is Kyle Cheney.
That's car
like that was...
you beat me to it. 823, that's Levi Metzinger.
With Rhiannon riding shotgun out of Shamokin, Pennsylvania, with Levi Metzinger Racing in his Can-Am.
Yeah, he's been racing with us since Bluegrass in 2019.
Justin Barth crossing the race line finish. Get a time on him shortly. Remember, you can go to live.ultra4racing.com.
And there's still so much action to come here. As the UTVs keep going.
That is Matt Walraven out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina with 118 Off-Road in his JW Performance CT Raceworks Can-Am.
Right, just seen 823 go across the line. And he looked blisteringly quick. That is Levi Metzinger. What has Levi got for us? And Levi goes 7th overall and 5th in UTV Pro Mod with a 47.9. So great run there from Levi. Leaving the line now, it is the 725
of Chris May out of Townsville, South Carolina with May Motorsports in the stock class. He got first place in Crandon last year. He's been racing with Ultra4 USA for a very long time. Walraven had a great run. It was a great shot of the race line start finish. There's the 4908 of Jeff Donda with Viltman Jilton riding shotgun out of Wheeling, West Virginia with Metalworks Racing. He's part of the open class. Started racing Ultra4 USA at KOH 2017. On the line next is number 522. That is Mr. Nathan Tater Seiler with Brandon Cooper riding shotgun out of Keota, Oklahoma with Tater Sack Racing. Another Can-Am. What a great day of qualifying it is here during the 2023 Can-Am Visions Week. So much going on, but right now it is qualifying for Ultra4 USA. And I am Miles Hasselquist alongside my good friend Jim Marsden. We will have Pam Hall in the pits during the races.
Yeah, as we're just looking there at the 4908. And that is Jeff Donda there who's crossing the line. And again, it sounded like he was actually in low box. Sometimes just people make that mistake. They just pull the wrong gear by accident.
Off the line now is number 440 of Jake Godfrey out of Tulsa, Oklahoma with Godfrey Fabworks. Another Can-Am with Raceline wheels, MTS Off-Road, Sandcraft, and Rugged Race Radios. Look at that great shot of the drone following through this qualifying course. Remember, it is 1/3 mile. And what a great shot it has been.
Fantastic views there as we're watching these cars. Live action here at the 2023 Visions at Mid-America Off-Road for off-road racing at its best with Ultra4 USA.
Off the line now is the number 101.
And that is the 440
of Jake Godfrey. We'll be getting a time for him shortly.
Yeah, he was looking fairly fast there. I don't think he'll break into our top 10 though.
Thanks again for everybody who makes this possible. We have Raceline Wheels, Amsoil, Mid-America Outdoors, Mile Marker,
Rugged Race Radios, Product X, Off-Road, Speed Sport, Can-Am, Good Old Boy Vodka,
360 Wraps, Optima Batteries, Laser Nut,
Spider Tracks, Brannick Motorsports, Yukon Gear and Axle, Wheeling,
the Off-Road Syndicate, American Outdoors, King of the Hammers, Fun Hammer Off-Road. So please support who supports the sport. Without all those amazing marketing partners, we would not be racing here during the 2023 Can-Am Visions.
Yeah, and that was car 101 there, just crossing the line. a very leisurely pace.
I'm going from here all the way around, but straight through there.
And still just looking out across the field of vehicles that are lining up. We've still got a lot of more action here today at this 2023 Visions Off-Road presented by Can-Am at Mid-America for Ultra4 USA.
I believe this is Glenn Jung's first race with us, number 77 out of Austin with 77 Motorsports, part of the Pro Modified class.
Let's watch the 490 there.
That was a 4.3. Oh, 4.90. I missed it.
It's all right, I got you.
Peyton Isabel with Ricky Wood riding shotgun out of Tulsa, Oklahoma with Godfrey Fabworks.
Indeed, so they're local guys and girls.
And there is Mr. Paul Wolf, one of the heavy hitters in the Pro Modified class. Number 1018 of Paul Wolf out of Brighton, Illinois, another MAO ambassador with Wolf Racing. He's also doing double duty. He'll be racing with the 4400 class as well.
Now, what can Paul Wolf do? He is one of the favourites here. Kyle Cheney will be watching very closely here. And you can see our drone is struggling to keep up with Paul as he makes his way through this wooded section.
And you saw right there, he cut through the middle and kind of bunny hop. It is 50 feet either side of the course, so that is a great line that Paul Wolf has found.
Yeah, 220 has just left the line.
That is Alan Burton that took off. And Paul Wolf doing a little bicycle coming out. I don't know. Is he going to be able to beat Kyle Cheney? It's going to be extremely close. And he does. Paul Wolf just takes the pole away of Kyle Cheney by 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, no, 0.02 of a second. That is absolutely remarkable. No, 0.2, you are quite right. That is incredible stuff there from Paul Wolf.
So
and that
Paul
just goes
Wolf,
to show you how close this racing is.
Paul Wolf with a 45.026, beating out Kyle Cheney with a 45.287. Super close. They'll be taking off 1 and 2 tomorrow. It's looking like it. But there's still a lot of fast guys and gals out there. Speaking of, there is Carson Atkins. He was our pole setter in Rush, Kentucky just a month ago out of Seymour, Tennessee with Devon Racing in his Yamaha YXZ. What a great qualifier we have today. This is how we get this party started.
It is indeed, Miles, and that's why we love Ultra4 racing. And just check out that drone shot there, and you can see all the cars there lining up for the qualifying session.
In the left of your screen, you can see the white trailer. That's where the Can-Am desk is at. With a great aerial of Camp Ultra4 right there. There's Carson Atkins and his Yamaha pushing strong all the way to the finish. Carson Atkins just bumps into 5th place in the Pro Modified class with a 46.658.
Yeah, and let's just have a quick look at our top 5 at the moment, completely dominated by the UTV Pro Mods. In 5th position is Carson Atkins.
In 4th spot goes to Tyler Gibbs.
In 3rd is Dustin Robbins.
2nd place, Kyle Cheney.
And in 1st place, it is that man, the America Off-Road ambassador, Mr. Paul Wolf.
And we will see him in just a little bit in the 4400 class as well. So Paul Wolf has a great idea of this course, and we'll see if he can fit his UFO on the pole as well.
Was it 2 years ago that he dominated this event, winning the rock bouncing, winning the 44, and winning the UTV?
Last couple years he has done that. Yeah, last year he dominated absolutely everything. But this year, Kyle Cheney's giving him a run for his money.
He is indeed. It's going to be fantastic to watch and see what he can do. We've certainly got a race on our hands here, Miles. But it looks like somebody might be having a problem down in the woods, and it looks like we've got car 22 sitting on the line waiting to go, which is Mike McClure out of Ness City, Kansas, running a Polaris with BFG, PRP, Sandcraft, Larrycraft Racing, Ruddy Radios, STI beadlock wheels, and G-Force Racing suspension. Mike started racing with XRA in 2005 and has been around Ultra4 and KOH ever since 2009. Stepped away for a short while, and he's now back with us in the 4900 class. Great to see him here.
Mike McClure is a great character of our sport. He's been around it for a very long time. Great to see him still racing with us. There's the 227 getting ready to take off.
Yeah,
that is
waiting.
Jackson Plummer and Andrew Shipman.
And we're just waiting now for the action continue. The top 6 is dominated by the UTV Pro Mods. We heard the top 5 a minute ago. In 6th, it is Mike Park. Then in 1st position in UTV stocks, it is Chris Johnson. In 2nd
is Aaron Lynch.
And in 3rd position, it is Brian Starrett.
So a great effort by all these guys and gals out there qualifying on this 3rd mile course, getting everything. So what's a qualifier mean? You're qualifying for your start position tomorrow or on Friday.
Indeed you are. So what you're doing, particularly on courses like this, although it's still on adjusted time, we have to think about lap traffic, we also have to think about traffic in front of you, and of course the dust. And it's the dust that's the killer here, and that's why these guys and girls are going to be pushing so hard for that all-important first place if they can get it. But there's also comes risk. We've seen that already with so many vehicles that have been laying on their sides where gravity overtakes and they just can't keep it on the track anymore. And those guys and girls are going to be starting from the back of the pack, and that's going to make life very difficult indeed. But also it's going to make for some fantastic racing. Keep saying it, it's on adjusted time. And how many superheroes have we seen come from the back of the pack and get to into the podium and even win?
Yeah. I remember it was a few years ago in Kentucky at the Dirty Turtle track. Eric Miller started from the back of the pack and battled us all the way and won the race from the back.
Do you know what? I was watching that sitting at home, and it was a difficult race to follow because there was only 3 or 4 camera assets out there, but my word, it was absolutely incredible.
It was a great race. I hate that Eric Miller is not here. The Bleilers aren't here, but we're going to Pennsylvania next month, and they will absolutely be there. Our next race is in famous Reading On-Road Park. That is our next Eastern Series race in Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
And looks like we've got cars moving again on course, and that is the 1571 there. Managed to
It's a full time. It's really hard to hold it tight.
he's managed to escape my starting list.
There's a great shot of the race line start finish.
And relining up again now, it is car 22. So this is Mike McClure. So look at this fantastic shot there, and you can see the first turn down into the woods. And that was our race director there.
Mr. J.T. Taylor himself.
He picks up the green flag.
And Jackson Plummer and Andrew Shipman getting ready to take off out of Farmington, New Mexico with Plummer Racing.
I'm going to have a word with Jackson, because that number board doesn't look like a 227.
Yeah, I can see it. He's a little bit flared out on the back. They've been pre-running, so they've already got their cars a little muddy.
They have indeed. As Jackson makes his way down into the woods, it is the 4924
of William Lunchbox Thomas with Twin Peaks Racing in his Can-Am. If you are just tuning in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the Can-Am Visions Week, and we are qualifying for Ultra4 USA.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day here out in Jay, Oklahoma, at the Mid-America Off-Road Park. The sun is shining, a few white fluffy clouds in the sky, but this morning it was all about the electrical storms and the rain, and my word, did it rain.
But we needed the rain. It was getting pretty dusty out here, so I think race conditions today would be absolutely ideal. Tomorrow, I think we're going to be fighting the dust a little more, unless we see some more rain, as William Lunchbox Thomas takes off with Twin Peaks Racing Pro Modified Can-Ams. Twin Peaks PPEI Double E suspension.
And that is the 227 there, with Jackson Plummer, with Andrew Shipman running a shotgun for him. I don't think he'll break into our top 10, but it looked like a fairly good run.
And up next on screen is Mr. Nathan Parker, the Phenom. He's only 14 years old, has his buddy Ed Reevy riding shotgun, fresh off his win in Montana. This young man is on a mission. Number 900 out of Dunn, North Carolina with Team Momentum Racing. The CT Raceworks Can-Am. Thanks, Jim, for helping me out with everything. But we're going to bring in Mr. Ken Stout. How's it going, Ken?
Awesome, man. Unfortunately for us, we have a day off. As I'm sure you heard, Mother Nature changed the course of direction here for short course racing here today. But first time I've had a chance to get over here. It took me a little bit to find you guys. I mean, when you've got to travel through this park till you run out of asphalt, you've gone a pretty good way.
Gone a ways, isn't it? Yeah. This place is amazing, though, isn't it, Ken?
It is amazing, and now getting a chance to watch what you guys are doing here on this monitor, this is pretty cool, man. I want to go for a ride.
Yeah, we could probably line that up as Mr. Jamie McCoy, number 70, takes off out of Kingsport, Tennessee with G-Force Racing, part of the Pro Modified class in this Can-Am X3.
Yeah, great stuff here, and I love coming over. Of course, I'm familiar with the short course off-road racing style, UTVs, if you will, and these things are a whole different animal,
It's
man.
a
Tell me about it.
completely different animal. You guys want to be low. You guys want to have smooth tires. We got to have some suspension travel. You got to have a little bit of everything. Bigger tires. It's pretty wild.
Clearance, I'm sure, is massive as well. So
You could just see the ruts out there are really starting to get dug in there. It's pretty impressive to see these cars, and we've seen a couple people bicycle and flip over a lot of it, and then they're trying to skip the ruts.
So give me an idea. I see how tight it is when they go down in that valley, that canyon, if you will, of woods. Are these cars capable of running with, say, the big trucks, on a course like this where it's really tight and twisty?
Absolutely, yeah. I called that earlier that I think a UTV was going to be the fastest car on this 1/3 mile qualifying course. But tomorrow and on Friday, I think the 4400 class in the open fields will get a little more horsepower and be able to run faster. But I think during qualifying, Paul Wolf's time of 45.026 is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, and a tough player right there, Kyle Chaney, who has been so successful out here. Of course, that three-time winner out there at King of the Hammer certainly knows how to get it done. So we look forward to watching guys like him in short course, and great to see him over here as well. How about Tyler Gibbs, also a short course racer there in trucks and pro buggy, and over here having some fun with the Ultra4 gang.
Yeah, he's been doing really well and sitting in fourth spot in Pro Mod with some of those other big names. It's pretty impressive. And back to Kyle Chaney, you said he's a three-time king. You're absolutely correct. He hasn't lost an Ultra4 race this season yet.
Oh, man. Incredible.
Talk about a target on your back.
And then he goes through the champ race and he just struggles. I don't know. He's just snake bit over there. It's funny how it goes sometimes, right? But, uber talented is Kyle Chaney. And, of course, the car prep, as you were telling me before, these things are a good bit different. So the car prep is so important. Well, it's always important, but, man, to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted to get ready to come out here, this brutal course that you guys put them through is amazing.
Yeah, there's a couple creeks we run through, so you got to, prep. Yeah, but sometimes people do hairspray on the electrical connectors to keep water out of the system.
Yeah.
I mean, there's little tricks to
all
everything.
All those little tricks,
yep.
Right? I mean, I always say that, all the shows that I've done over the course of my career, and the Lucas Oil on the Edge show that I did for many, actually it's back now, did for many years, but, we had lawnmower racing on there and figure eight and trailer racing, and as goofy as some of that stuff sounds,
it's still fun to watch.
There's tricks to the trade. I mean, if you want to go out there and win and beat those guys, there's little tricks to the trade like you were just talking about, and I respect everybody. It doesn't matter what the discipline is because it's not easy to win, man. There's a lot of tough players out there.
And you know how you figure that out? By learning. So you one race, something didn't work out.
You break it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's great to see all the crossover drivers coming out here, like we were talking about earlier. You've been hosting the truck races. I'm super excited to watch that. And then we have Ultra4, we have Nitro Cross, we got Nitro Circus, the Rodeo, Barbie Jeep. Which one are you getting in on?
I won't be in on the rodeo one. I'll watch it, but I will not be in on it.
One's tonight.
I would say the Barbie Jeep one, but I watched that last year. That thing's no joke.
Yeah, I did some Barbie Jeep racing, I'm going to say 15 years ago, and that looks like Mike McClure. Did he save it? Yes, he did. He was on a bicycle, was able to save it. But back to the Barbie Jeep racing. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I'm not getting on one of those anymore.
Yeah. We get hurt.
As
this
Mike
is so
McClure.
Cool. I love watching this.
Yeah, and what a great drone shot through the trees. These drone pilots are absolutely amazing what they can do.
I didn't even put it together that it's a drone shot, but sure enough, I mean, following that thing right down through there, and you're right, the drone pilots are as impressive as the cars are.
Absolutely. There's Robert Liebel with Tony Busby riding shotgun number 441 out of Quinton, Texas, with Liebel racing this Can-Am. Mike McClure crosses the line. You can go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same timing we have here at the Can-Am desk.
Wonderful stuff for sure. 1,600 acres of fun out here this entire week, as you know. And we started racing yesterday on a Tuesday, which completely threw me off. And, for racing, it's usually a Friday or Saturday, so I wasn't sure what day of the week was, right? But it's great, man. And I'm so glad you guys are able to come out here and keep racing. Unfortunately, as I said, we were, we were just slammed last night with a lot of rain.
Which was a bummer for the short course, but it was great for us.
It helps you guys out and gives another obstacle, another element of fun, if you will. But we spent so much money on making that short course track over there and part of the Nitro track as well. Just
couldn't risk to tear it up.
Yeah, just couldn't take a chance. So we'll let Mother Nature do the other thing here today, which is dry it out. So
I'm sure the pool's starting to get a little hopping up there.
Yeah, that's my goal for the day, right? I got to go over there and get in the pool and have a little bit of fun. But I want to come say hello to you guys and watch what was going on over here. Really, really respect all the players. It's super cool stuff.
Well, always a pleasure there, Ken, as we just saw A.J. Stratman take off out of High Ridge, Missouri with TTP Racing. I haven't seen him come out, so we may have a little issue in the woods.
So I'm sure you've already said this to the fans that are watching at home, but this is a qualifying session here, and you guys will race tomorrow?
Yes, the UTVs and the stock trucks will race tomorrow, and then the 45, 48, and the big 4,400 cars will race on Friday.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. And the pros will be racing on Friday night as well over there in the short course, so Friday's going to be an exciting day. And, of course, the RC racing, that will take place on Saturday. World-class RC racers will be in the house getting it done over there for a big purse as well. 30K, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a lot of money, especially for a little car.
Yeah.
And off the line, a name you are familiar with, I assume, is Rodney Van Eperen.
How about that? Rodney's over here?
Yeah, Rodney and Owen.
And Owen. So Owen, unfortunately, popped the motor yesterday.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. He was out there qualifying, and I want to say was at the top of the sheets. Still ended up second, but, yeah, he popped that motor. So they'll have to make an engine change. I'm sure they've already done it, but he didn't have those engines are modified. They still have to be 1,000 cc's, but you're allowed to change the internals.
And they're Yamaha, correct?
Yeah, they're Yamaha, and they did have a backup motor, but it's basically the motor he has to run in the Champ Series, which is the bone stock 1,000.
So the horsepower is going to be a little.
I told him, I said, now you're really going to have to race somebody, man. But he's certainly capable, and Rodney, of course, a multi-time champ as well, so it's great to see the Van Eperens out here.
Yeah, they're racing in the stock class with us. There's 3 different classes in UTV. We have the stock, the Pro Mod, and the Open.
Okay.
They'll be racing together, but scored separately.
And the difference between stock and Pro Mod is?
So stock, you have to have a 33-inch tire. Pro Mod, you can have 35s. Pro Mod, you can do an aftermarket turbo. So stock's a stock machine minus safety stuff, and then Pro Mod, you can have an aftermarket chassis that's based on factory suspension points. So it's just a little bit bigger tire. You can do some engine modifications and that stuff.
Is the preferred stock car a turbo?
I missed that one. There's too much horsepower in the background.
Is the preferred stock car? Somebody's going to go in the stock class. Are they all pretty much in turbos?
Most of it. There's only a few NA cars. Most of them are turbos, yes.
Okay. Yep, just curious. And obviously Open is exactly what it states. Run what you brung.
Yep, build it, dream it, make it happen. The new Pro R runs in the Open class.
Okay, yeah, that's a 2-liter, of course. Can they put a turbo on that?
Yeah, in the Open class, you absolutely good. There's Josh Owen, number 375, out of Westminster, South Carolina, with Master Motor Racing. So both Owen Van Eperen just crossed the line. Some great racing today for Ultra4 USA qualifying during the Can-Am Visions Week here in Jay, Oklahoma at Mid-America Outdoors. And I am Miles Hasselquist. Joined in the booth with me is Mr. Ken Stout.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. Great stuff. Enjoy everything that you guys do. You and Jim, awesome job. So knowledgeable about it, and I'm sure the fans really appreciate it at home. So we rely on people like you to keep us up to speed.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me in here, and have a great week, man.
I will.
I'll see you somewhere.
I'll bump into you sometime.
Yeah,
I'll hit you up in Coconuts. But yeah, Ken Stout, always a pleasure having you, and thanks for everything you do. I'll be watching you the rest of the week as well.
Man, you're welcome anytime in our booth, so come on.
I'll come say hey.
All right.
Thanks again, Ken Stout. Lots of action out on the course. thank you again for everybody for tuning in. We're going to bring back in Mr. Jim Marsden. It was fun to have a quick little chat with Ken Stout. What a great name to bring out here to Mid-America Outdoors, the one and only Ken Stout.
Absolutely fantastic. The man is a legend of our sport, and to have him sitting in here is fantastic. But that's the whole thing about Mid-America. They're not scared about getting the right people in here to do this job, and I love that. So thank you very much, Ken. I'm sure we'll be hearing more from him later in the week. And the qualifying here continues.
There is Cody Quattlebaum, the Q-Bomb himself, out of Macon, Georgia, with Bandit Off-Road Racing in his custom-built RS1 Turbo by Castle Lake Metal.
Yeah, and it looks like there's been a change while I was out of the chair there. In 6th position overall, but first in UTV stock, it is Nathan Parker, who flew down a 47.037.
And he's in the stock class.
Exactly, yeah, but Chris Johnson, who was our long-standing first position in UTV stock, moves down to 8th overall and 2nd in UTV stock. So fantastic stuff there.
We just saw Jeremy Blackburn cross the race line, finish line, number 40 out of Pikeville, Kentucky, with On the Gas and Bandit Off-Road.
And it is car number there, 43, lining up
That
now.
is
That is Jake Versey.
That's Jake the Blonde Ambition Versey out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, with Reckless Motorsports. In the Pro Modified class, Jake Versey riding solo in this race, I believe. Super fast.
And that's fantastic views now. So we can see there from our cameras, those ruts are really getting deep at the end.
Rich Bursch getting across the finish line, number 4916 out of Castle Rock, Colorado, out with Genesis Motorsports and his Pro XP Polaris.
Now I was watching Jamie McCoy. He looked very fast as he crossed the line, but he must have lost some time somewhere because he comes in 10th position and 7th in the UTV Pro Modified with a 47.83.
And off the line now, the birthday boy of Cameron Dickey, number 69 out of Norfolk, Nebraska, with CD Racing. So happy birthday goes out to Cameron Dickey. Off the line next is Kevin Rance. We saw his dad, or his brother, John Rance racing. We have John, Kevin, and Sean. So I may mix them up a little bit. Right now it's Kevin Rance out on board. And we come back to the green with Kevin, or Ian Dickey. Cameron Dickey across the race line finish.
And racing with my number, car 69.
Back on screen with Kevin Rance. Out of Aztec, New Mexico, with Mudnut Racing in the Pro Modified class. Polaris, Milestar, RPM, Rust Up, Ballistic, and Yukon.
Yeah, that is the 645 there.
Of Zach Pollard out of Winder, Georgia, with East Coast Cowboys Racing.
I'm just looking down across the line. We've got approximately another 4 or 5 UTVs left to run.
And then it looks like it'll be the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class. We'll go over that here in just a moment.
Indeed, but we will let the UTVs have their moment in time.
Kevin Rance with a very smooth run, but the fastest time still is Mr. Paul Wolf with that 45.026.
He was absolutely flying out there on course, but he is only 0.2 of a second ahead of Carl Cheney. As you were saying earlier, Carl Cheney is the man to beat this season. He is unbeaten so far in 2023. There's the 645 there. Zach Pollard crosses the line. And he breaks into the top 10, 7th in Pro Mod and 9th overall. So a great run there from Zach Pollard.
Zach Pollard will race single-seated during these races. And there's the 211.
Yeah, that's the 211 of Ian Dickey. Making his way down onto track right now. Polaris Power Sports Nation.
Ian Dickey Racing. And there is Travis Zollinger being driven by Mr. Cole Clark and that single-seat Can-Am.
Now, Cole Clark, he's a very fast driver.
So is Travis Zollinger, but he couldn't make it. So he put his buddy in there, and yeah, Cole Clark will see what he can do behind that Can-Am. He's been racing with us for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, Cole just looks a little bit off pace there. I'm just looking to see if I can get a time for him.
And off the line now is Jay Shaw, number 1 Boy Dog, with Bryce Lane riding shotgun. Number 17 out of Springville, Alabama, with Adventure Lifestyle in the Pro Modified class.
Now there's me eating my words, and breaking into 3rd position is Cole Clark, driving for Travis Zollinger, crossing the line in a 46.15, so a fantastic run there.
1 second splitting the top 3. That is overly impressive on a 3rd mile course through the trees with all these ruts. It's impressive driving by Paul Wolf, Kyle Cheney, Travis Zollinger, Dustin Robin, and Tyler Gibbs rounding out the top 5, all in the Pro Modified class. But in that 1st position in the stock class is Mr. Nathan Parker, followed closely by Chris Johnson.
Yeah, and Jay Shaw just crossing the line there now. Jay Shaw, where will he pop up?
He had a quick run, so I'll bet you he's top 15 or so.
Just waiting for his name to pop up any moment now.
Hit the record button, so it has.
Remember, you can go to live.ultra4racing.com for the same timing we have here at the Can-Am booth. During Visions Week, this is Ultra4 USA qualifying. I am Miles Hasselquist alongside Mr. Jim Marsden, and we'll be bringing you racing action the rest of the week. But we have so much more yet to come. Tonight we have the rodeo. Tomorrow night we have Pro Rock. We have MAO side-by-side racing series and the truck series tomorrow. It'll be jam-packed in there.
There is so much action here at the 2023 Visions Off-Road presented by Can-Am here at Mid-America in Jay, Oklahoma. If you can get out and join us, please do. You will not be disappointed. There is so much to see and do here at the Mid-America Off-Road Park. It isn't just a park, though. It's what you said earlier. It's a destination. It's somewhere to be. It's somewhere to come and hang out with your buddies and to come and see some of the greatest off-road racing anywhere in the world.
And bring the family. There's so much to do. My kids are here. They went to the arcade last night. They're at the pool as we speak. I mean, there's so much here to do. Lots of food trucks. There's a restaurant on site, 2 bars, a couple pools, a lazy river. I mean, this place is amazing.
Okay, as we're waiting for the first of our 4500s to come in, let's just run through our top 10 ever so quickly. So in 10th position is Zach Pollard. In 9th is Chris Johnson. In 8th
is Mike Park.
In 7th is Nathan Parker.
6th is Carson Atkins.
In 5th is Tyler Gibbs.
4th, Dustin Robbins.
In 3rd is Travis Zollinger, being driven by Cole Clark.
In 2nd is Kyle Cheney.
And in 1st position is the man himself. It's Mr. Paul Wolf. In fact, no, we've just had an update. Look at this, Miles. Jay Shaw was missing. Jay Shaw breaks into the number 1 position. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic stuff right at the end of qualifying. Jay Shaw qualifies with a 44.82. Incredible stuff.
Wow. So our timing took a little bit to update, but Jay Shaw gets on the pole position. Number 17 with Adventure Lifestyle. That is a great run in his Can-Am, bumping out a couple more Can-Ams of Paul Wolf and Kyle Cheney.
Yeah, I'm just looking there. Less than half a second splits Kyle Cheney, Paul Wolf, and Jay Shaw.
That is absolutely amazing. 2.5 seconds ahead of Cole Clark driving for Travis Zollinger.
That is a hard-hitting top 5 that we're looking at right there, but a big shout-out also to Nathan Parker, who is 8th overall and 1st in the UTV stock class.
And in the open class, we have Josh Smith that ran a 49.705 on that pole position for the open class.
Yeah,
right
Josh
behind
Smith.
him is Robert Liebel.
Yeah, Josh Smith is pitting with Levi this year, Levi Shirley. So looking forward to catching up with him. But right now, it is going to be all about those 4,500 class cars. And we're just seeing them line up right now. Now the 4,500 Yukon gear and axle class.
So let's go over that. The 4,500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class will have an orange number plate. You can have 2.5 shocks per corner, limited to 14 inches of travel.
Yeah, and now those shock absorbers have to be mounted to the tops of the axles. Very important, not on the leading arms. Then it has to have mechanical steering, so it has to have a steering box, but can have hydraulic assist.
Absolutely, and then a maximum of a 37-inch DOT tire.
And it has to have a front-mounted engine, but it can have unlimited horsepower.
Let's go back to the tires. Tires are such a huge deal in these classes. DOT, Department of Transportation. These are the same cars you can put on your tow rig. They run down the highway instead of a sticky tire like we'll run in the 4,400 class.
Now, you might think to yourself, oh, well, there's no difference here. You don't need a sticky tire out here. You're quite right. You don't need a sticky tire when you're out here on this course. But what you do need is the technology that these race tires have in their sidewalls. And you'll find Kevlar protection built into them, and all sorts of other goodies. So running these DOT tyres can be a problem for these vehicles. So they have to drive smart. They can't break in and out of those berms. They can't hit the sidewalls very aggressively. So they've got to drive smart to get these trucks to the finish, because any kind of flats and you're done.
I remember it was probably 4 or 5 years ago at Reno Nationals. It was Casey Gilbert was crawling to his car, slipped off, broke his foot. So Eric Miller hops in, identical cars basically, except for the DOT tires. And he popped every single tire that Casey Gilbert brought.
Yeah, I think it was something like 9 tires or something. It was a crazy amount, that's for sure. And sitting on the front row of the grid right now, it is the 4514
of Troy Digby, Dirk Diggler himself, with Tom Biddle riding shotgun. We saw him driving his black Toyota earlier today. Number 4514 out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with Digby Racing.
Yeah, he's running an LS3 5.3 with a Turbo 400, Atlas transfer case, Dana 60s, at Yukon gear and axle rim and pinions, KMC lights, Mickey Thompson tyres, rock crawler suspension, and a whole host of other goodies. Very classic looking styling for this 4500 class car. You might be wondering what the delay is, but the race director JT Taylor will be contacting his course staff, making sure that the course is clear, safe and ready. Now, let's talk about times for these vehicles. I think, are we going to see any of these break that 50-second mark?
What was Lauren Healy? He was a 55, so they'll be right around that 50-second mark. I don't think
they're going to be below 50. You've got to remember, these UTVs we've just watched going out on track, these are seriously fast vehicles. 10 years ago, we used to laugh and joke and call them golf carts. There's no laughing and joking now. Now it's just trying to hang on to their coattails.
It's pretty impressive. Like I said, I don't know if a 4400 car will beat these UTV times in the qualifying course. I do think on race day, the 4400 lap times will be a little bit faster. This qualifying course is 1/3 mile through the trees, a little bit of wide open there at the end, and that's all you get. And that sets you up for tomorrow or Friday's racing. So it's super important because the dust, the lap traffic, you want to start up front. It's a huge advantage.
It is indeed. Now, it's also worth noting, if we look at other races around the world with UTVs, like Dakar, for example, they restrict the UTVs so they can't beat the big cars. However, on other races like the Breslau Rally in Poland, which I'm going to be going to in a few weeks, as soon as I get back from here, in fact, they don't limit those UTVs, and those UTVs are nearly as fast as some of those big Dakar-style cars you see that cost nearly $1 million. Nearly $1 million. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing with these UTVs right now.
Now, $1 million or £1 million?
Well, I had to haul myself back because it's about €1 million actually, so it is about $1 million, yeah. And that's when you're talking about the sort of the red line Toyotas and vehicles of that sort of stamp. So if you've only just joined us, welcome to the 2023 Visions presented by Can-Am. We are here at Mid-America Off-Road in Jay, Oklahoma. The sun is shining, the skies are blue, there's a few white fluffy clouds. We had a big downpour this morning and it's perfect course conditions. I'm joined in the booth by Mars Hasselquist, and we're just waiting for the 4500 Yukon gear and axle class to get started.
We will have the rodeo later on this evening, and then tomorrow at 1 p.m. we'll do the 4900 open and stock class, and at 3 p.m. will be the pro modified class, 5 p.m. will be the stock class, and on Friday the EMC will start off with the youths as well at 8 a.m. Then the Everyman Challenge 45 and 48s will kick off at 10 a.m. And then the 4400 presented by Good Boy Vodka will be at 1 p.m. So be sure to tune in all week for Ultra4 USA. But don't forget, we have Mid-America Short Course, Mid-America Trucks. We have Nitro Cross, Nitro Circus, the Rodeo, Pro Rock, Barbie Jeep. There is so much going on this week. I can't wait to get it all going.
Yeah, I was changing production the other day. There's 4 live streams going out from here. That's quite insane.
Sometimes at the same time.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. It's remarkable. Just looking here right now, it looks like our race director, JT Taylor, is getting ready to go.
What a beautiful day. The sun is out. It's 77 degrees. Picture perfect. A few beautiful clouds in the background. But this is a perfect race day for qualifying Ultra4 USA.
Yeah.
About to kick off the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class with Mr. Troy Digby.
Yeah, looking across this class of vehicles, most of these vehicles are going to be running a solid axle configuration. They're only allowed to run IFS if the vehicle actually left the factory with IFS.
I think they went away from that.
Oh, they have now.
I think it has to be straight axle only.
It has to be solid
Yep.
axle now, right? I'll catch up with the rule book.
Oh, no worries. So on Friday morning, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class and the 4800 Brannick Motorsports class will be racing at the same time, scored separately. So how they qualify today is how they'll take off the line on Friday. And again, we keep talking about how important qualifying is because of the lap traffic, because of the dust. It is getting close to racing action. Getting a little chatter through the rugged race radio. Sounds like we should be racing here very soon.
Yeah, just looking at the body language there of our race director, JT Taylor. And he's just put the flag on the ground, so it looks like there might be an issue still down there on track. As I say, every single thing is checked. They just make sure that course is 120% before they're going to send any cars out on course. And there's still plenty of action to come here this afternoon. We have the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle class. Then, of course, it is the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. Let's talk about those Legends class. What sort of things have we got with those vehicles, Miles?
Yeah, they're some of them are retired 4400 cars. They have a single shock per corner, 37-inch tires. And some cars are built specific for it, but like I said, it's a great way for, as the technology improves, sometimes it's easier to take a 4400 car, I'm going to say dumb it down, but put a single shock, smaller tires, and then go down to the 4800 class.
Indeed, but interesting, we've also seen custom-built 4800 class cars, most notably Casey Gilbert, for example. The car was built to the 4800 class rulebook, and now, of course, he's taken the sandbags off, as we say, and moved it on up into 4400. So it's interesting to see that these vehicles have still got all those baseline components that you would see in 4400 class cars.
Interesting about what you say about Casey Gilbert, who is actually not racing this weekend. Hope you're tuned in and watching. We miss you, buddy, but completely understand. But he is racing this same car, so he moved a 4800 car into the 4400. He put a couple of fancy shocks on it, some bigger tires, and he's out there ripping. Cade Rod has been a huge part of the 4800 class, but has recently stepped up. We'll see him in the 4400 class in his single-seat Jimmy's chassis. And let's talk about chassis. We keep saying Jimmy's chassis, Campbell's chassis, Horschel. What is a chassis? Well, Jimmy's chassis, it's a company. So they build chassis, and it's the frame.
Exactly, and since the conception of Ultra4 racing right the way back in 2007, we now have vehicle manufacturers all around the world that build frames or chassis specifically for this style of racing. So let's just look at a few of those. We've got the Bombers from Randy Slauson, we've got the Millers from Eric Miller, we've got the Campbell chassis from the Campbells, then of course it goes on with the Jimmy chassis from Randy Rod.
The UFOs with Joe Thompson.
Exactly, then over in Great Britain we've got Rob Butler with his
Levi Shirley's cars here.
Exactly, with his off-road armory vehicles. Then in Portugal we've got M-Power, and we've also got Bruno Camaro out there as well. It goes on with Nicolas Montador in France, and then coming back to the USA we've got so many other manufacturers as well that are building vehicles. This entire sport has created an industry worth literally billions.
And it's crazy to see because you can still build a car in your garage and come out here racing. You have to keep up with spec and safety and everything, but you can build a car, come out here racing. Probably the easiest way is to buy a UTV, run in the stock class, go off the shelf, go down to Can-Am, buy one, put a roll cage on it, do your safety specs, and come on out.
Well, let's just talk about cost there, because I mean, about $40,000 sees race ready in a Can-Am, in a Polaris, in a Yamaha or a Honda, and sees you on the start line in all your full safety kit and rocking it with Paul Wolf and Carl Cheney and all those other heroes.
Or trying to keep up with
Well, mate, we're seeing some guys, they turn up. I mean, look, what was there? Woodford, who turned up at Montana.
Jason Wofford.
Exactly. Turned up there, put down the win. First time at that's impressive stuff. We saw the rookie program this year at King of the Hammers as well, giving our rookies a real chance.
Really cool.
It was. Now, what's the rookie program? Let's talk a little bit about that, because this is special.
Yeah, if you've never raced King of the Hammers, you can get on the rookie program and come out to King of the Hammers. King of the Hammers, the first Ultra4 USA race of the season.
Okay, here, got to stop you there, Miles. I see a green flag, I see it waving, and off the line now is the 45-1-4
of Troy Digby with Tom Biddle riding shotgun out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, with Digby racing in a built Jeep with a 5.3 LS Turbo 400 and an Atlas. Great drone shot chasing Troy Digby. And again, I want to give a huge shout out to the entire production team. We have so many moving parts, and just look at this drone chasing through the trees. Look at all those leaves. This guy's doing a great job keeping up. New line, that little straight cut through right there.
And now it is one of our old favorites. It is Cody St. Clair.
The kid with Tyler Haggard riding shotgun out of Ponder, Texas, with SCR Road 16 chassis. We missed them. They've got a lot of cars out there.
Sorry, Adam.
And Trim Fab. We got a few of them out here.
Yes, we have indeed. There are so many vehicles.
We will have a time for Troy Digby here in just a moment. He's going to be right around that 53-second mark, if I had to guess. With Cody St. Clair out on course right now. And coming up next is the 45-17 of Jesse Oliver.
Yeah, Jesse Oliver has been racing with us since 2013. My first ever KOH as well.
With Randy Knoll riding shotgun out of White Lake, Michigan with Oliver Racing.
Now, that didn't sound too good as he went on the line there. It sounded like he was having some issues, so I hope he can sort that out.
And look at that little wheel stand. You were talking about Levi earlier. Well, Cody St. Clair did the same thing and just ran a great run, putting him in that second position with a 54.138. But Troy Digby's the one to beat with a 52.234. We're guessing around that 50-second mark, and we are there.
We are indeed. It's almost like we've done this before, Miles. As we're looking
kind
now,
it
is Dwayne Garrettson. The man, the myth, the legend.
Of Ultra4 Racing, with Jeremy Tinton riding shotgun out of Alma, Arkansas, with Come Get You Some Off-Road and a Jimmy's 4x4 Bronco. Limitless Performance 6-liter.
Oh, look at that big bicycle there.
Jesse Oliver took off a little with a little stumble, but ending up with a thunder across the race line, finish line.
Yeah, now Jesse Oliver, he lost 2 to 3 seconds. Worth noting, most of these vehicles are running some pretty big V8s. When they're sat there on the start blocked up and you need to clear them out, you'd think that you're just going to put some power down and they'll sort themselves. Sometimes they don't want to do that. Sometimes they just really want to just sit there and just stumble and fall.
And a beautiful Bronco driven by Sean Rand Sr. and Chuck Richardson, number 4531, out of Aztec, New Mexico, with Mud Nut Racing.
I'm going to say this. That is the OG Bronco of
100%. He's been racing that same exact Bronco with us, I'm going to say, 6-8 years.
I mean, it's a bit like Trigger's Broom. Everything's been released twice.
Oh, yeah.
As crossing the line now is Dwayne Garrettson.
With
Dwayne Garrettson.
103.
Yeah, that's a big car to thread through those woods. But he'll be there on race day, you have no doubt about that. And this is Rick Lavezzo. Now, Rick Lavezzo in the 4549. Now, this is a Get Bent Fab car.
Another chassis we forgot to mention. So Rick Lavezzo and James Mahoney out of Fort Worth, Texas, with R-Squared Racing.
And this car takes the letter of the law to the limit. Very special steering on this vehicle. But it also has a comedy-sized V8 engine in there.
And we got a rollover. At that same spot action, the Rugged Race Radio is getting a little busy. So who is that on course upside down?
Yeah, just trying to work that out right now.
Oh, that is Sean Rance. There it is. That's the Bronco.
Yeah.
So tough break for him. He's got both of his sons racing. So we got the Bronco upside down.
Well, gravity has that.
Over.
Yeah, gravity has that effect on people, sadly.
So we'll get a rerun for Rick Lavezzo. Rick Lavezzo gets slowed down there for safety, obviously, so he will get a rerun.
Now, I haven't looked. Is Rick Lavezzo going to be racing both 4500 and 4400 here?
No, he is not. He didn't. He was having some issues with the 4400 class.
Okay, so we look there at Sean Rance. Now, Sean had a really big rollover last year.
And we got a Rugged Race Radio replay. So we'll check it out as we speak. What a great little addition we have. And here it is, the Rugged Replay.
Maybe next time we'll have the Rugged Replay. Let's not forget, we are in the deep, dark wilds of Jay, Oklahoma, bringing you some of the best race action from around the world. As we're just watching there, as Sean Rance takes a little lie down, and he'll be sitting there in that car. You can imagine the conversation, can't you? I told you, go left. More I could make it.
Well, that's actually a right, so if he went left, it wouldn't work. So again, thanks to each and everybody for tuning in.
I want to talk about that. You say don't go left, but you're coming out of there. We've got deep ruts. If you turn too hard to the right there, you're going to sit yourself up on a bicycle. If you cut left, break out of that rut, you can put that left-hand wheel on that nice flat top bit. then you can really start burying hard. The best part is then your right-hand wheels drop down into the rut, which gives you a better center of gravity because you're creating a camber.
But he didn't do that.
No, he didn't. What he did there is he actually followed gravity and put it where it is right now.
And if you're just joining in, we thoroughly appreciate each and every one of you. This is the Can-Am Visions Week. We are qualifying for Ultra4 USA. I am Miles Hasquist alongside Mr. Jim Marsden. And let's give a huge shout out to Rugged Race Radios, Project X Off-Road, Speed Sport, Can-Am, Mile Marker, Mid-America, Amsoil, and Raceline. And here's the Rugged Radio replay.
So there's Sean Raz, he refires the engine. Bit of smoke from that LS motor. Actually, is he running a Ford motor in
It
that?
is a Ford, 455 small block, if I'm not mistaken.
That's fantastic. No, there's not many Ford V8s out here, is there? So that's quite unusual.
So there's Rick Levezzo. He'll get a rerun. And Sean Rance will take a rear start. Remember, Thursday and Friday races are on adjusted time. So even if you're starting in the way back, you still have the same time as the person that took off front. You just have lap traffic, you have the dust, you have the elements of bottlenecks and whatnot.
Now, we saw this earlier. We've seen a few people take reruns, and we've seen actually problems. We saw earlier one of the gentlemen, I forget his name, he took a rerun.
Cam Zollers, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was Cam Zollers. Good memory there, Miles. And he actually rolled his car on his rerun. So let's hope that Rick can keep it together. But Rick's been racing with us a long time. And so we were talking about it a minute ago. He's moved up to 4,400. He's been moved out to 4,400 and has an IFS pedal car. So there's another chassis manufacturer that we're talking about. But he's here right now in his Get Bent Fab car in 4,500, sitting on the start line, ready to go. And we're just waiting to get the course clear indication. And I love the livery on this vehicle, Miles. It's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, it is a great look, and Get Bent does a great job with that Bronco front end.
Yeah, let's not forget Keith is the absolute genius that brought us Jason Shearer's new car this year. And that thing is an absolute... It's
a work of art.
It is. It's a space shuttle. Let's be absolutely fair. Because he puts that thing into space. It's incredible to see. And the innovation, I'll tell you who we haven't spoken about. UFO.
I mentioned it earlier. Yeah, we have Paul Wolf in a UFO. Joe Thompson. The Gomez brothers, were missing them this week, but we'll see them later on this season.
Okay, we've got the green flag. JT Taylor is giving the 3, 2, 1, and Rick Levezzo is live on our course here at Visions, presented by Can-Am.
What a great day of qualifying we have. I'm going to take a step out. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll bring in Mrs. Pam Hall.
Well, thank you very much, Miles. It's always a pleasure working with you. We're going to get Pam in here shortly. But right now it's about Rick Levezzo, who's out there on course, pushing that massive Get Bent Fab car with that comedy-size engine. As Pam Hall steps into the booth to join me. Good afternoon, Pam. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
Fantastic. I'm absolutely fantastic. I'm loving this. It is so good to be here at Mid-America. Absolute magic.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful day out here. We had that heavy rain last night, and I'm sure you guys have talked about that, but it has made for a great course.
Okay, here we go. Rick Levezzo, he crosses the line. He came round that top corner, wheels off the ground, and what can Rick Levezzo do? He moves into second position with a 52.78. So great run there from Rick Levezzo, less than half a second behind Troy Digby, our current pole sitter in the 4,500 class.
Yes, and Troy Digby coming from Louisiana. Awesome to see him. He was actually also in that rookie program last year at King of the Hammers as well. So
we were just talking about that. That rookie program was an inspired piece of genius from the man himself, Mr. Dave Cole. And what it did is, let's talk a little bit about this. It allowed rookies, people who've never raced Ultra4 before, more importantly, have never raced King of the Hammers before, it allowed them access to manufacturers, to racers, to champions, to be able to get their expertise to help them with their own race programs. And we've seen that it's really worked out for these guys and girls. And we've seen some remarkable displays from these rookies. You wouldn't expect to see people in their rookie year getting onto podiums or even breaking into top 10s, but that's what we've been seeing.
Yes, it's pretty amazing they do that. They've just announced that their 2024 rookie class is going to be opening soon, and it's supposed to be bigger and better. But there we do have the 918 taking the green flag.
Yeah, and that's the 918. That is a Brian Moore. He is a local boy from Tulsa, Oklahoma, in a blue Torch Fab chassis. LS3 Maxxis tyres, vision lights. First Ultra4 race was in Crandon 2022 and was a rookie at KOH this year.
So Jim, you enjoying our weather here in Oklahoma with the thunderstorms that we had last night?
It's incredible, isn't it? Although you won't believe this, we've just had the longest winter in history in the UK, and just before I came here, we're seeing temperatures into the mid to high 90s. So yeah, the guys at home are actually sweating at the moment, which is unusual. Oh, and we've got a rollover.
Oh, so unfortunate right there. That is a great camera angle right there, though. I've been out in the pits actually talking with drivers as they come off race course this morning, so I haven't got to see the live feed here, but you have a great view of it with the drones.
We do indeed, and there's the 193 lining up at the moment, but he's going to have a small wait. That is Jason Myron, sorry. And Jason's going to have to wait for 5 or 10 minutes as our recovery crews.
We have had a couple hiccups here this morning, a couple little rollovers. It happens.
Okay, so we're going to get a Rugged Radios replay any moment now. Let's just see the action live as it happened. So here comes the trucks, and you can see it just grabs that edge and just rolls up over, and it happens so quickly, Pam. You just literally, those ruts, they just grab you and you can't feel it. The car just all of a sudden, in one moment, you just feel that car just go, and you just got to try and catch it. The trouble is, when you're in tight trees like that, it's difficult to steer because you don't want to steer because you're going to hit the trees. So sometimes you just have to take that fall.
And it's a great, you're a great person to be, giving us that example. Being a racer yourself, you know exactly what happens out there on race course.
Sadly, I know only too well what it feels like to roll. But that's another story entirely.
Yes, and that is right there is the great drone footage. That is the hideout. That's where we are having all of our drivers' meetings. And right there on that horseshoe that you're seeing at the bottom, that's where they are exiting out of our qualifying course.
It is indeed, and that is where we saw Sean Rance on his side a moment ago. As we look down there in that little bit of pasture, you can see there's a little white tent, and if me and Pam lean outside and wave, that's us.
Hello. No, that looks like a question mark. Look at the trees. It's a question mark.
It is actually an inverted question mark.
Yes, so it's going to be just a few minutes until they get that car recovered, and I'm just stepping in for Miles. He's getting a little bit of a break. I saw you get a break. I saw Ken Stout come in here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great to see Ken here as well. And it's wonderful. The production team that we have here, got to say a massive shout out to all the guys and girls that are making this happen. Because let's not forget, we are in the middle of nowhere in Jay, Oklahoma. And to be able to bring you all this live action is absolutely remarkable.
I 100% agree with you on that. It's amazing the locations that we go to that when we don't have any internet and we can bring you guys a live show. And here, like you're saying in Jay, it is a city. It's a small city, but middle of nowhere.
Well, let's just look here. You can see all the pits there for the Ultra4 vehicles. Now, this is only a small part of the Mid-America Off-Road Park, and it's wonderful to see. But we've got still a load of our Ultra4 teams back up at the main part of town with their big semis and stuff like that. And in the top right-hand corner of or the middle of our screen now, in the top area there, that is Team Indiana. So it'll be Brannick Motorsports and all the other guys.
Yes, and we are right across from the Nitro Cross area. They have a large area they're pretty cool uniform EasyUp that they have.
Yeah, they're remarkable looking things, aren't they? Yeah. Our little race pods. And at the moment we are watching the 4500 Yukon gear and axle modified class, and I can see the recovery has now taken place. And we're going to be watching the 193 of Justin Myron leaving the line, and off the line he goes right now, heading down into the woods. And it can be tough for these guys. They come out of bright sunlight, then they break down into the woods, and they get those shadows from the trees, and they have to adjust to that very quickly indeed.
Yes, and when JT and Miles were out there on that race course getting it all designed, they were pretty excited about this qualifying course. It's short, but it's technical. Obviously, we've been seeing people having issues out there, but it's a great qualifying course out there for our racers. And it looks like we have the 869 that is waiting to go on race course.
That's Jeff Flanagan. He's off the line now. Very distinctive looking truck there. That is also a bent fab chassis. It's an old school vehicle, this one. LS1 TH400. Venom transfer case, Yukon gear and axles. first race was with us in Visions at 2023.
Yeah.
So this is his first race, which is fantastic to see as the 193 crosses the line. And that is Justin Myron.
Yes, and his time was a 58.325. We have such a large class still coming up to go out and qualify. We have an amazing group of people out here, lots of large names. It's going to be a very awesome competitive day. And there we do have the 869. Looks like having a little bit of trouble going through this area.
Yeah, it looks like he's having some issues there. And it looks like we've actually finished our 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle class, and we're now moving into the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class. But you can see how tight it is in there. And we're just talking about this earlier. These big cars, it's like threading a needle through these trees, whereas those UTVs, they can really punch it high. But also, you can see there's tracks on the side there. Those UTVs have been following that track on the left to try to get up their way around. But it looks to me like he might have a motor issue here.
Yeah, he's definitely either down on power, taking it a little bit slow. There are some like little canyons down in there. We did go through the qualifying course the other day. It was pretty cool to see it.
Yeah, he's definitely got some issues here. So we can only guess at the moment as to what they might be.
And there's our drone taking it backwards, showing
it's like a scene from Star Wars, isn't it? As he makes his way back down through there.
Exactly. I love it out there, but yeah, that qualifying course is fun. Now, did you get to take a lap around the race course? Because
I haven't yet. No,
yesterday.
JT's taking me for a lap around the course later on, which I'm very excited about. That's going to be great fun for sure.
Oh, you're going to have a blast. It is a great race course all around.
So as we move into now our 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class, let's talk about what makes a Legends vehicle.
All right, they do run a front and rear mounted engine, but it's unlimited horsepower.
Yeah, the vehicle must contain 2 seats side by side.
And then it have the single shock per corner.
Can only run a maximum of a 37-inch tyre, and it has to be a DOT, so it's got to be road legal.
And that's what's really cool about this class, is running a DOT tire. I mean, it's a tire you can just go down to the street. If you need an extra spare, go down and buy one as long as they have it in stock.
Exactly. Only solid axles are allowed, and specific new cars built and older retired 4400 cars. So we're seeing, people take this rule book and they build cars particularly for this class. And it's a remarkably aggressive, is that the right word? In fact, I think it is. It is an aggressive class. It is one of the most competitive classes that we see out there on the track, for sure.
It is.
And in many ways, it's more difficult to win the 4800 class than it is to win 44, because the cars are so similar and so alike, and particularly when we see them racing at King of the Hammers, it's a very hard-fought battle indeed.
And they're fairly fast too. This is a great class. I mean, they do have the unlimited horsepower, but
well, we've seen Casey Gilbert out-qualify 4400 classes before in his 4800 class car, and it's a shame that Casey isn't with us this weekend, but we know he'll be in Pennsylvania, I am sure.
I'm excited about that one too.
Unfortunately, I can't make that one, but that sounds very cool.
Yeah, next month we will be there, so it's going to be a really good course there. I've heard it's going to be a lot of fun as well. JT's already been there, scouted it out for us. And the drivers that live on the East Coast, that's kind of like their backyard, so they're super excited.
It is, as we watch the 1717 there of Johnny Valadez making his way out of California using a bomber chassis, LS3, Powerglide transmission, Atlas transfer case. And he's making his way down into the woods, and there's nothing worse than sitting on the start line waiting to go.
So when you're sitting there and you're waiting to go yourself, is your heart pumping, your adrenaline going, nervous, or are you just calm as can be?
You mustn't get frustrated. The most difficult thing is actually you don't know how long you're going to be waiting. So do you shut down the motor? What do you do? Because you don't want to lose that temperature. And off the line now, it is the 717.
That is Ryan Webb in the 717.
Yeah, Ryan Webb, rollover Ryan Webb. Let's hope he doesn't have a rollover today. And look at this footage here as the 1717 makes his way into the top field in that bomber chassis and pushes hard for the line.
What an amazing time.
Yeah, he lays down there. Johnny lays down a 1 minute dead, so great run there as Ryan Webb is now out on course.
So not in that number one spot, but that was an amazing time.
Yeah, we got some very fast cars in here. We got Stephen Rose, who's going to be out there in his Trem Fab car soon. But 417 is off the line now.
Justin Barth?
Yeah, Justin Barth. Justin
That's
Barth.
smart. He's normally running dual duty here. I'm not sure if
He
he's
is, I believe he's in UTV as well. It's the 717 there of Ryan Webb. Crosses the line, and it's a great run there from Ryan Webb. He is now leading in the Brannick 4800 Legends class with a 52.75. Now, I'm going to say this. The highest place we saw in the 4500 is around about that 52 seconds, but we got some very fast guys. We've got Stephen Rose as the 44.06 of Eric Wickel leaves the line now, but we've got, just looking here, we have got, if I can find it, Stephen Rose, and we've got Brent Harrell who's going to be out, of course, in the incredible Horseshoe car, and Brian Trent as well. It's going to be awesome to see what kind of times these guys can lay down, that's for sure. And that is the 417 there of Justin Barth.
And that put him in that number 2 spot with a 56.968.
That's a nice solid run there from Justin. But I've got a feeling that these guys, Stephen Rose and Brent Harrell, I think we're going to see them right down on that 50-second mark.
That's the 872 on the line of Kimberly Sparrow.
It's great to see Kimberly out there. And her husband, Hunter, is going to be racing in the 4400 later on. And Eric getting it full sideways there as he powers for the line. That's a great run there from Eric. Coming in second position with a 55.462.
They're just getting faster and faster, aren't they, Jim?
They are indeed. I'm loving this, Pam. It is so good to be here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here as well. On the line, we do have the 819 of Bobby Lindgren.
Yeah, Bobby Lindgren is another Jimmy chassis, ever so popular in this class. But these are big cars to thread through these needle-tight trees. And just looking there. Now, if I was a racer, we've just got a little bit of cloud cover coming all of a sudden. For me, this is the conditions I want. This is how I'd want to be starting my lap.
You want to know why I really like it? Get cooled off for a minute.
And that is the 872 there, bouncing off the rev limiter as he crosses the line. And that is Kimberly Sparrow. I say he, it's a she.
She.
That is the 896 of Brian Temp.
Brian Tripp's always one of those out here that's one to reckon with.
Indeed he is. After all, that mighty V8 sounds absolutely fantastic.
All right, Bobby Lindgren right there, kind of crossing the checkered flag, getting a great time. We'll see in a second. Yes, that put him in the number 5 spot.
Yeah, great run there. But at the moment, our pole setter is Ryan Webb with a 52.75. But there's some big hitters about to come out on course.
Yes, they are. And Jim, I'm going to get back out of the booth and let Miles take his seat back. It was great being up here with you, but I'll be back again later on.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Pam. And you stay up with the action here at Mid-America Off-Road. You will hear a lot more from Pam as the action continues. Welcome back, Miles.
Well, thank you, Pam, for hopping in for just a minute. Give me a little break. Great to see you, and we'll see you the rest of the week for sure. I know you got a busy schedule.
Indeed, and Brian Temp, he goes into first position with a 51.68. Fantastic run there from Brian, but on course right now and lining up. It is the first of the
Ryan Taylor.
Is Ryan Taylor?
No, that is Woody Rose.
That's Woody Rose
Woody
going
Rose,
out.
sorry.
But Ryan Taylor is out on course at the moment. These are both Trent Fab cars. This could be very fast indeed, Miles.
Absolutely.
I'm expecting Woody Rose to go sub 50 seconds.
It's going to be really close. Yeah, Woody Rose out of Sparks, Nevada with Trent Fabrication in his Trent Fab top shelf chassis as Ryan Taylor, last year's national champion in the 4800 Brannick Motorsports Legends class.
Oh, look at this,
Just
Ryan
grabs
Taylor.
it. Yes, he does.
He does. Ryan Taylor, he crosses the line in a 50.3. And on the line now is car 56. It's Brent Harrell in that incredible Porsche machine. Just listen to that horsepower thunder off the line. But he gets sideways. It's not the entrance he wanted into there. As Woody Rose makes his way out. Oh, look at that bicycle.
Huge bicycle that powers out. When in doubt, throttle out. Woody Rose saves a huge bicycle. That's why those hay bales are there. That's why we keep spectators 150 feet back from course.
That's Woody Rose, or Stephen Rose, as he's correctly named. It goes in at 51.6. He would have broken that 50 seconds.
He was really close, but right now it is Ryan Taylor, that 50320.
And blink and
Great
you miss
run
it.
by him.
Yeah, blink and you miss it. The top three has changed in as many cars. Incredible stuff here. This is the 4800 Brannock Motorsports Legends class.
And Brent Harrell and Justin are out on course out of Holmesville, Oregon with Change Order Racing. This is going to be a great time, but is it enough to bump out Ryan Taylor? It is not, but it puts him in second place.
It does. I think there was almost too much horsepower hitting the ground there. Just that looked a little bit loose there from Brent. But let's not forget, he's still a young racer. He's got that, learned that experience. Sometimes less is more in these situations. And we've got a UTV lining up now. These could be vehicles that have had that missed their qualifying slot earlier.
But they have to get a hold of JT Taylor, our race director, to get a late qualifier. So they must have a mechanical issue or a scheduling conflict.
Indeed.
So that is the 529 of Cody Willenberg with Randy Dassenbrock out of Effingham, Illinois, with CW Motorsports and his Polaris Razor.
What's going on?
Again, if you are just tuning in, I am Miles Haswis alongside Mr. Jim Marsden, and this is the Can-Am Visions Week. We are qualifying for Ultra4 USA as we speak. This is getting everything set up for Thursday and Friday's race. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., the stock and the open UTVs will take off. Then at 3 p.m., the 4900 Pro Modified UTVs will take off. And then tomorrow night at 5 p.m. will be the 4600 Spider Track Stock Class. And then Friday morning at 8 a.m., the Youth Class takes off. And then at 1 p.m. will be the Ultra4 USA. Sorry, at 10 a.m. it'll be the Ultra4 Everyman Challenge classes. 4900 Brannock Motorsports, the 4500 Yukon Gear and Axle Modified class. And then Friday at 1 p.m., the 4400 Unlimited class, brought to you by Good Boy Vodka.
Okay, so the 529.
We are off with Cody Willenborg. There has been multiple rollovers out on course. It's been pretty impressive.
I'll be coming around fast, and I follow them all the way through the flags.
Lots of action on courses. Our drone is flying through the woods. This is only a third mile of a qualifier, but yes, it's been super tough and technical on these cars. We do have a couple late entries in the 4900 UTV class. And there is Justin Barth, the 417, out of Springfield, Missouri, with Barth Racing. He's part of the stock class.
And we saw Justin Barth. He was just out on course only a few short moments ago, so he's literally jumped from one car into another. And looks like we're going to have another of the 4600 class cars. The 529 now crosses the line.
We'll see if they can beat out Jay Shaw's time of 44.824.
Yeah,
it's going to be a hard time to beat.
I don't think anyone's going to get anywhere near that, if I'm completely honest, even the big guns themselves. Just looking at this course, it's going to be difficult to thread those big 4400 class cars through those trees. But hey, there's some amazing talent out there. Let's see what these drivers can do. They've surprised me more than once in the past.
So what's your guess? Who and what time on a qualifier for the 4400 Unlimited class? Are they going to be able to beat Jay Shaw's time of 44.824? I'm not sure.
Well, I'm with you on that one, Miles. I really don't think it's actually possible for a 4400 class car to actually beat our 4900s, if I'm completely honest, on this course. But looking out there is some massive talent. Now, there is one man who really does stand out above the rest for this sort of thing, and I'm just thinking maybe this could just be his moment, and that is Brian Crofts.
He's qualified well before, that's for sure. He's super fast in the qualifier.
Super fast in qualifying. He's in that Campbell chassis vehicle, and he's sitting right at the front of the car, so he knows exactly where those front wheels are, and that's all important for threading these vehicles through the trees. So I'm going to put my money on Brian Crofts.
Paul Wolf is one I wouldn't count out. He's already ran this qualifier at
That's
speed.
Very true.
I mean, we got a lot of heavy hitters.
Exactly. Let's not forget also similar thing in that UFO car, sitting right out the front there, over the top of the wheels, and he's just run an incredible. He's sitting in second place in 4900 right now.
Yeah, let's go through the 4400 class. We have Waylon Campbell.
Yeah, and there was also Chip McLaughlin.
Shannon Campbell, three-time king and Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Famer.
Indeed, and Cade Rod, who's now made the move from 4800 up into 4400.
We were just talking about Brian Crofts.
And then a heavy hitter himself, Mr. Paul Herschel.
And Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Then our only lady racer in 4400, Bailey Campbell.
Philip McGilton.
And then it's Lauren Healy.
Hunter Sparrow.
Then Pip Justice coming out of Australia.
Levi Shirley in that new Eurofighter.
And Roger King.
Brent Moffitt.
Then Chad Hunt in that Miller chassis.
Glenn Page.
James Cantrell, but I don't believe he's racing.
He was supposed to race a 44, but now
Indeed.
he's in the UTVs. Then Jan Pitrick.
Then Ted Dowker.
MAO Ambassador Paul Wolf.
As we've got a 4600 late entry going off the line. We'll keep you honest on that as we see him get some scores.
Adam Collin taking out.
Yeah, then we've got Tim Hooper.
Ben Miller.
Christopher Branton.
Frank
Let's not forget
Vonderheide.
he was our fastest qualifier at Legends last year. And then we've
Vonderheide.
then we've got Brent Harrell, also in another Horseshoe vehicle.
And then Jonathan Doss. We'll have 27 4,400 cars as we're watching Adam Collin tip over. Tough break in that 4,600 Spider Track stock class. Adam Collin takes another tumble. This course is being a little trickier than everybody anticipated.
Yeah, it's so easy just to get it wrong there. And you could see the rut. You could see what he was trying to do. He just got the wrong side of the rut there, just tipped himself up, and away you go. Gravity does the rest at that point, and you are just a passenger.
And we had it scheduled from noon to 3 for qualifying. I think we're going to use that entire block, as much issues we've had down there in the woods. So Adam Collin is upside down.
Yeah, I'm just looking now. I can see the 4,400 class cars starting to line up.
These are the biggest and baddest names in our sports. We have, all the heavy hitters here. It's going to be a great race, but qualifying's about to go down.
Let's talk about 4,400, because these are...
And it looks like we'll see Adam Collin tip over again from the Rugged Race Radio replay. Check it out. You can see he's hitting it, and he catches that berm just a little bit on the left tires and flips her on over, and tough break.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely the wrong line there. You can see they needed to be further over to the left, and it's such an easy mistake to make. When you're coming out of that bright sunshine down into the woods, all of a sudden your eyes have got to adjust to that dappling light as the light tries to break through the trees. It's so easy to make a mistake, so tough break there. But let's cut back to those 4,400 class cars. What is it that makes these 4,400 class cars the weapon to have in off-road racing?
They are unlimited, and that's what it is. Dream it, build it. We have IFS, we have IRS. Now let's explain that. IFS, independent front suspension.
Independent front suspension, or flappy chicken wings as some people like to call them. This is exactly what it says. So the differential is fixed into the chassis, and then the suspension is a moving arm either side of that differential.
And then both cars have a solid rear axle, but we have a couple IRS, which is independent rear suspension.
Exactly.
We have Paul Horschel, Ben Miller.
I think Brent Harrell is also running.
I think he's got a solid
axle.
axle
You're
rear.
right. Actually, yeah, because Ben Miller is the one that also has the
Paul
IRS,
Horschel.
and of course, very famously, Lauren Healy.
Yep.
So it's going to be interesting to
see.
see there. Is this going to be an advantage? Let's not forget the 4,900 class are all IFS IRS. So, but in the 4,400, we usually do see that solid axle configuration. But we've also got vehicles with solid front axles as well. Let's talk about cars like Chad Hunt, who's running, of course, a Miller chassis. Now, that brings us on to horsepower, because Chad Hunt is probably running the most powerful vehicle out there. I believe over 1,000 horsepower.
Him and Horschel are sniffing 1,000 horsepower.
Insane stuff there. And then let's talk about also other cars that are very, very futuristic. Levi Shirley's Off-Road Armory.
The Eurofighter's a work of art. It's beautiful.
It's absolutely incredible. And this is what we call a rear engine, or would you even call it mid-engine? That engine is literally just behind the driver there. And it almost looks like a block of cheese. It's so narrow and slim at that front there, coming back in. And here we go. We got our...
Adam Collin is righted, but he took a tumble. We recovered him, so he will take a rear start for the 4,600 Spider Track stock class tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we're going to be bringing our 4,400s onto the course right now.
Between the Jeep and that
Oh no, we've got one more UTV maybe.
I'm not shooting.
Yeah, that's the 440.
That is Jake Godfrey out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, with Godfrey Fat Boards.
Yeah. If you sit on the ground, I think you're probably okay.
So as we just wait for Jake Godfrey there just to line up and just continue our talk about the 4,400s. So these vehicles are going to be running, they can run pretty much any size of tyre that they like. They pretty much mostly choose to be either running 40-inch or 42-inch tyres.
40 inches is the most common.
Indeed.
But you can run whatever you want as long as it has to be a 37-inch tire.
Yeah. But also what we're also seeing is, there we go, Jake Godfrey is off the line.
And keep in mind,
And making his way down into the
off
wheel.
the line.
But these vehicles at 4400s, they can now run what we call competition grade tyres. So these tyres can have a sticky construction, which means literally the lugs are sticky to touch, which means they get more traction onto the ground. But they can also have armoured sidewalls and other little tricks.
So the punctures in the sidewalls on these ruts will be a huge advantage with those sticky tires.
Indeed, which means they can carry more speed into those ruts, which means they can exit faster. And that makes these the absolute weapons that they are.
The Swiss Army knife of off-road.
Indeed.
Here we go, guys.
And I can't wait to see what these cars are going to do. So many different profiles. You see some vehicles out there that are over 6 foot tall, and some of these vehicles are as low as under 5 foot tall. Jake Godfrey here laying down a great time, crossing the line. And I think he is the last of our UTVs, and he is.
I got to the shop and it came through
As
so
we watch the
fast.
first of our 4400s coming onto the line right now.
So it's still
I'm moving so fast.
Jay Shaw with the fastest time of the day in the 4900 Pro Modify class with a 44.824. So up next is going to be Glenn Page. This is his first Ultra4 USA race, so we waived his entry fee. If you've never raced Ultra4 USA, come check it out. We bypass the entry fee for you.
Now, I see the Canada flag on the side of that vehicle.
All the way from Ontario, Canada.
Has he travelled from Ontario, Canada to be racing with us today?
Yep, absolutely.
That's incredible.
With Greasy Clowns Racing in a Get Fab chassis, Northern Force Hydrovac.
And you could hear that then, the engine not getting very clean as he crosses the line, and we were talking about this earlier. When you leave these big V8s just ticking over like this, sometimes those plugs get a little bit gummed up. They just don't want to go fresh when they come off the line.
So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. This is the Can-Am Visions Week, and we are qualifying for Ultra4 USA. I am Miles Hasselquist alongside Mr. Jim Marsden, and that is Pip Justice, all the way from Australia.
Yeah, exactly.
Australia, yep.
Yeah, so we've got me
Down
here
under.
from the UK, we've got a gentleman there from Canada, and another gentleman, Pip Justice, is leading the line all the way from Australia.
So Pip Justice and Diamond Dave taking off out of Tyrese, Australia, with Cruise Racing in a Tribe 16 solid axle machine. We'll see what kind of time Glenn Page can throw down.
Looks like a
Was
55.
giving it all he had through the race line start finish. And up next is Mr. Levi Shirley with Corey Nasso riding shotgun, number 81 out of Dodge City, Kansas, with Lucky Dog Racing and Levi Shirley Racing in that beautiful built Eurofighter.
Yeah, Levi Shirley has been a national champion in Europe and also here in the USA. This is a new car to him. What can he do out there on track? And Pip Justice comes around, makes his way and thunders towards the finish line. Ozzy hopes he holds it wide open.
And Levi Shirley is sitting on the pole.
Not yet, he's not. He's still out on course right now. And our drone's trying to keep up with him now. These are big cars to thread through these trees.
Sorry about that. Misread that one.
Okay,
but Pip
Pip-
Justice
yeah.
with a 52.95.
That's a fantastic time there for a solid axle vehicle. So great stuff there from Pip Justice. And this is the 1981.
That is Ben Miller in his Horschel machine out of Sauk, Texas, with Elite 1 Intermodal Racing. It's an IFS IRS Horschel built machine.
And that was Levi Shirley. He crosses the line in a 53 seconds. And this is what we're saying. He's got 700 plus horsepower. But that's a big car to thread through those trees, as Levi is proving right there.
But we'll see what time Ben Miller can put down. And up next is going to be three-time king Lauren Healy.
Yeah, there's no mistaking that number. The 67 is so iconic. And look at that car sit down as it powers off the line.
Two-time king Lauren Healy is out on course at a Farmington, New Mexico with Funhammer Off-Road Team in his Triton engineered 2C IFS IRS Bronco. Ford Performance 460 D3.
And Benjamin Miller is now the pole sitter with 49.95. And we're talking about this earlier, Miles. 44 seconds. Can anyone in this class, in the 4400 class, beat 44 seconds?
That's pretty impressive. We'll see. We still have a lot of heavy hitters yet to go. Speaking of that, number 72, that is Hunter Sparrow and Drew Broughton, riding shotgun out of Denver, Colorado with Sparrow Motorsports in a Miller chassis.
Oh, look at this. Full noise here from Lauren Healy.
This could be our new fastest time, and it is a 47.464 for Lauren Healy.
Fantastic stuff there from Lauren Healy.
Our MAO ambassador.
Top four at the moment, Levi Shirley with a 53, Pip Justice with a 50, Benjamin Miller with a 49.9, and Lauren Healy with a 47.64.
And off the line, his first time racing with us at Ultra4 is right now. That's Jan Pitry out of St. Columban, Canada. Custom chassis, Elka suspension, race line wheels. See what kind of time Hunter Sparrow will throw down.
Hunter Sparrow.
Very respectful time.
Yeah, he's looking good there. Hunter Sparrow, he comes in fourth position with a 50.750.
We should have 27 4,400 cars qualify today.
Yeah, but it's Pip Justice who's currently our highest by solid axle car. As leaving the line right now, it is the 4423.
Frank Vonderheide with Drew Davis riding shotgun out of Scranton, Arkansas with ST Racing and a Jimmy's 4x4 straight axle machine.
Now, I do wonder if Levi had a problem down there. It's not like him to leave anything on the course, or maybe he caught a tree or did something. Be nice to catch up with him later, have a chat and find out what happened.
Jan Petrie with a 55.144.
And lining up on the line right now, it is number 7. It is Cade Rod.
Out of Cortez, Colorado with Cade Rod Racing. And a Jimmy's 4x4 single seat machine.
Yeah,
His dad, Randy Rod, is Jimmy's 4x4. He's here on site. His Vonderheide takes a huge bicycle, saves it, and keeps on the throttle. These ruts are really starting to dig in. That's what we were talking about. It's just going to keep getting better and better, or worse and worse.
Yeah, Cade Rod, we're watching there going through those woods. It's one of my favourite all-time vehicles. Those Dragons built by Randy's are absolutely phenomenal. And thundering off the line now is number 401.
Brent Moffitt with Corey Moffitt riding shotgun out of Kyoto, Oklahoma with Catch This Racing, another Jimmy's chassis.
And Cade Rod powers across the line there, and Cade Rod moves into pole position. Oh, you're not going to believe this, Miles. You're not going to believe this. 43.34. Cade Rod is the fastest man of the day.
By almost a full second. Over a full second over Jay Shaw. So Cade Rod, 43.344, fastest of the day. What a great, great run.
That's fantastic. Now, this is a young man who's been around the sport for so long, sitting on the line at the moment. That is Paul Wolf, but he's going to be stopped. I believe there's a rollover on course.
It is. It's on screen. Brent Moffitt took a little flop there.
Yeah, we're hearing that through on our rugged race radios.
Lots of attrition out there on course today. These ruts are really biting some people.
They are, but you know the thing, if you're going to have a rollover, make it a soft rollover, and these are all soft rollovers.
Yeah, we built this, or JT built this course, and we talked it through. Like we wanted it to be not hard, not easy, but we want them to get to the race. So I think these rollovers are going to be pretty easy.
So let's just go back to Cade Rod. Okay, so Cade Rod, he's come up through. His dad, of course, is Randy Rod, builds all those fantastic Jimmy chassis that have been so iconic over the years, with Nelson racing them, with Lauren Healy racing them, etc. You've seen all of that. He's raced in 4800, did so well in 48.
He did extremely well in that for a long time.
Exactly. He's been racing a solid axle car, and then all of a sudden he's like, boom. Here you go. Have one of the gnarliest, most wonderful, incredible vehicles in the world, a Red Dragon like this, and look at how he's learning to drive. It's remarkable stuff here. This is the future of our sport.
Oh, absolutely. It's really cool to see. But on the line right now, Mid-America Outdoors Ambassador number 1018 of Paul Wolf. We'll see what kind of time he can throw down in that Joe Thompson-built UFO.
And I'm going to throw this at you as well. So you're Lauren Healy, okay? And you have built the ultimate Ultra4 machine. Yeah, and you get beaten by basically what was your old car.
Yeah, Cade Rod is driving a car identical.
An updated version of what was Lauren's old car.
Yeah,
incredible.
I didn't think of that. That's a good point there.
I think if I was Cade Rod, I'd be going, yeah, strike one, Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren's got a new single-seat car he's building right now, so it'll be interesting to see how that's going
to be a car that is designed specifically for this style of racing. Yep. So it's going to be remarkable. And I believe that on that one, he's actually going away from the automatic transmission and is going to a sequential gearbox, but with a fluid clutch. So
I did see something about that. It's next-level stuff, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is. Now, I'm going to be interesting to see how he gets on with that. Now, I know it's going to be used for short course, but I race with a sequential myself, and I can tell you now that racing in the rocks with a sequential is like trying to race with one arm tied behind your back, because, like, if you're in third gear low, for example, you can't just go straight to reverse. You've got to go third, second, first, neutral, reverse. Okay, so your maneuverability in the rocks changes completely. However,
And if you're about to roll over, you can't grab that reverse
you
real
can't,
quick.
no. But equally, in short course racing, you shouldn't be doing any of that. And having the advantage of that sequential so that you can actually hold a gear and select a gear to be able to pitch and change your corners will be something quite special. It's going to be very interesting to see how he gets on with it.
So let's go over our top seats right now. Cade Rod sitting in that pole position.
In second position is Lauren Healy.
In third spot is Ben Miller.
And in fourth is Pip Justice, all the way from Australia.
And fifth is Hunter Sparrow.
In sixth is Frank Von der Heide.
In seventh is Glenn Page.
And in eighth is Levi Shirley.
In ninth is Jan Petrie.
In 10th is Brent Moffett.
He just took a little tumble, so he'll take a rear start.
Yep. And
So
we still got some real big hitters out there still to come. We still haven't seen Brian Crofts. We still haven't seen
Any of the Campbells.
any of the Campbells.
Shannon Campbell,
Yeah, we got
Waylon,
Shannon Whalen.
Bailey.
Now, I was chatting to Whalen last night. He was having some oil pressure issues. Now, let's hope, fingers crossed, he's been plagued by motor issues for the last 12 months. Let's hope that they can find something and get it sorted. And there we go. The 401 has been recovered off the course. So that's Brent Moffett.
So taking off next is the Mid-America Outdoors Ambassador, Mr. Paul Wolf.
Green flag is out. He's getting the 3, 2, 1 count. Here we go. 1, and we are live on course.
Paul Wolf is off the line out of Brighton, Illinois, with Wolf Racing in that UFO single-seat IFS machine.
Now
He's going to be pushing hard. Remember, he's sitting in that second position in the 4900 Pro Modify class in his UTV.
Just look at that. He just ran away from our drone then. Didn't even see it. He was gone. Checked out. This is going to be a very fast time indeed, Miles.
Paul Horschel, I can hear him echoing through the woods. He is pushing the limits to the max. Extremely impressive. Off the line next is Mr. Philip McGilton. Dr. Amanda Ross riding shotgun.
Oh, it's a big wheel stand there from Paul Wolf. He loses a load of time.
Paul Wolf just bumped
word.
out Cade Rod with a 41.889 with a bobble. So Paul Wolf was pushing hard. What a great run,
Now,
Jim.
Paul Wolf, he knows this course inside out, back to front. He dominated last year and the year before. Is he going to do it again this year?
He was leading in Montana and had a wheel fall off, so he is back for some redemption. Off the line right now is number 25, Vaughn Gittin Jr.,
Oh, we've
another
got a
Mid-America
roll.
Outdoor Ambassador with Eric Davis riding shotgun. So Philip McGilton takes another wheel stand, and he is upside down. So I'm sure we'll have a little communication with Vaughn.
And I believe that's what we call an Oklahoma turtle.
So the regular race radios will be shouting out loud to Vaughn Gittin Jr. to get him slowed down.
You don't see many of
Another
those
one bites
Oklahoma
the dust.
turtles these days. I've
All
got a
in
feeling we're
good
going to be
fun.
seeing a few more of them this weekend, that's for sure. Fantastic action here for the 2023 Visions presented by Can-Am here at the Mid-America Off-Road.
And we are qualifying for Ultra4 USA. So Vaughn Gittin Jr. will get a rerun for that since Philip had a little tumble. So Philip McGilton will take a rear start. Remember, we will take off every 30 seconds for the next race, but it sounds like we have a rugged racer in a replay. Check it out. Philip McGilton tumbles over.
Now, we were talking about this before as we watched Phil coming into this bend right now. You can just see it. Just catches that side of that rut there, but he just couldn't quite catch. He tries to pull it back, but it's just that gravity gates hold once more time. Boom, baby, you're gone.
Yeah, tough break for Philip McGilton. So we are taking off 30-second increments during the race. Your race is on adjusted time, so if you start first or you start last, you're racing yourself. But
I've been having a look. I've been having a look at the weather forecast, and I haven't seen any rain forecast for the rest of this week. So it is looking likely that it's going to be a dusty race course.
So while we get this covered up, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to step away, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
Speed Sport has been America's motorsports authority since 1934. Get news, results, and commentary from the most connected experts in the business, covering all forms of motorsports from flat track to NASCAR and everything in between. Bookmark speedsport.com on your mobile device now, or follow Speed Sport on social, and be sure to subscribe to the Speed Sport Daily. Speed Sport is your one-stop shop for all things racing on 2 wheels and 4.
AMSOIL runs on freedom and has since 1972. The for us in the market has been trying to follow our lead ever since. But a head start is a head start. Run with us.
And we are watching Vaughn Gittin Jr. take off out of Concord, North Carolina with Fun Haver Off-Road with Eric Davis riding shotgun in his Triton Engineering 2C IFS Bronco, Bucky 2.0. And look at this. The drone is having troubles keeping up with Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Let's not forget that Vaughn has been a national champion in Ultra4 as Tim Hooper leads the line. We'll be catching up with him shortly, but right now it's all about this man. Can he keep it together through this top end? Look at that. Usually this vehicle has portal hubs
around the corner.
They take the portal hubs off for the short course racing. Let's see what Vaughn's got for us. Vaughan moves into third position with a 43.6.
He'll be very happy with that.
Now, this is interesting. That means we've now got 3 cars that have actually gone faster than Jay Shaw did in the UTVs. And we were calling it that there's going to be a UTV run here. That's massive.
So we just saw Tim Hooper take off, number 1505.
And that was Christopher Branton that we just saw going off the line there now. Now, Christopher Branton was our fastest pole setter at Legends back in October.
There's Tim Hooper with Fuel Works and that trick fabrication machine.
Now, I love that line there. Did you see how he went out wide to avoid those ruts?
Kind of skipped the ruts.
He did indeed.
Drifted a little wide.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, where you cut the rut out and use that outside line to pull your right-hand one round. So great stuff there. And Tim Hooper moves into 10th position and thundering off the line now. Oh, Christopher Branton making his way around with those USD sticky tyres. That was a fantastic run round that corner, but I don't think he's got the pace.
Just saw Tad Dowker take off with Brian Tripp riding shotgun, number 906 out of Wounded, Michigan with North Shore Raceworks.
And Christopher Branton moves into 5th position with a very respectable 47.8.
Lots of action going on during qualifying for Ultra4 USA during the Can-Am Visions. And up next is Mr. Brett Harrell, who won Legends of the Fall just a few months ago with Justin riding shotgun, number 4456 out of Holmesville, Oregon with Change Order Racing. And a Paul Horsel built 2C IFS machine.
That's the first time I had any rocks on it.
And crossing the line now, it is the 906. That is Tad Dowker. And Tad Dowker moves into 4th. Look at this. Tad Dowker in a solid axle car moves ahead of Lauren Healy. So Tad Dowker is our highest placed solid axle vehicle now.
That is amazing. So let's talk about IFS versus solid axle once again. Independent front suspension as Roger King in a straight axle takes off out of Sparta, Tennessee with Team Robbie Bobby.
It is indeed. Now, it's usually reckoned that the IFS cars are usually faster, particularly in what we call rugged areas, etc. As we watch now as Brett Harrell makes his way around, powering hard.
This is going to be a great run for Brett Harrell. Puts him in that 8th position with a 5.0153.
And we've got to talk about this IFS. These IFS cars are huge.
Wider.
They are indeed. There's some of these vehicles that are over 94 inches wide. Get your head around that. As we're watching right now, the twisted genius that is Mr. Paul Herschel.
Park City, Utah with Horschel Motorsports and a Horschel 2C IFS and IRS. This thing even has rear steer on it. It's really going to be interesting to see how that works in the woods. And I believe it's computer in the computer.
It's a passive.
After 30 miles an hour, it locks it straight.
Yeah, but yes, I believe it's. Am I right thinking it might even have a passive rear steer on it?
I believe so.
Yeah.
So Paul Horschel out there going to be pushing strong. We'll see what kind of time he can get as Roger King, a little off pace, crosses the race line, start finish.
Okay, but the man to beat right now is Mr. Paul Wolf with an astonishing 41.8.
Shaved 3 seconds off of Jay Shaw, which we thought was the fastest time. Off the line next is Chad and Nikki Hunt. husband and wife duo, number 456 out of Plymouth, Indiana, with Hunt's Motorsports in a Miller Pro chassis.
That was Paul Herschel coming across the line there. Now, what has Paul Herschel got for us? Paul Herschel moves into 7th position with a 48.
So look at that. 3 Horschel chassis, 7, 8, 9. Paul Horschel, Ben Miller, and Brett Harrell. That's pretty impressive.
That is very impressive.
Very similar cars.
And also tells its own story. And Vaughn Gittins Jr. has moved up into 3rd position. So a fantastic run there from Vaughn Gittins Jr.
And fresh off a podium in Montana, Mid-America Outdoors ambassador Bailey Campbell and Ryan Miller riding shotgun, number 35 out of Gilbert, Arizona, with Campbell Racing in a Campbell Enterprise 2-seat IFS machine. And hitting the rev limiter is Chad Hunt across the race line finish as we're chasing Bailey Campbell.
And Chad Hunt is our 2nd fastest solid axle car, moves into 5th position, again ahead of Lauren Healy. So fantastic. Chad is going to be so super chuffed about that, to be ahead of his hero, Lauren Healy.
Up next is the number 3 Waylon Campbell out of Gilbert, Arizona, with Campbell Racing in a Campbell Enterprise single-seat IFS machine. See if he can chase down his sister. There's Bailey Campbell coming to screen as we're coming out. Hard right and towards the race line, start finish. Little popping on that.
There's a lot
Bailey
of popping
Campbell
there. She's not getting the power down. And Bailey Campbell moves into 7th position with a 47.6. So a fantastic run. But there's going to be work to be done to that vehicle as her other half, Brian Crofts, takes the green flag.
Number 9 out of Queen Creek, Arizona, with CB Motorsports in a Campbell chassis, single seat IFS machine, very similar to that car on screen with Waylon Campbell. For those ruts that just throws the throttle down, Waylon Campbell has a great run going, but can he bump out Paul Wolf with that 41.889?
But again, you can also hear that engine's just not pulling hard as it should be.
Waylon Campbell is in that 10th position, so
yeah, he will not be happy about that. And on the line now is the man, the master, the legend,
3-time king Shannon Campbell, Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Famer, out of Gilbert, Arizona, with Campbell Racing in the Dragon Slayer single-seat IFS Campbell chassis.
The Brian Cross powers round.
What
Brian
a
Cross
great
moves.
qualifier we have.
It's fantastic. I'm loving this. Brian Cross moves into 4th position with a 45.69. Now it's lining up right now. It's 417. A man who needs no introduction is Ryan Rockhold. Just look at this livery.
And he just registered about 2 hours ago.
Wow.
So Ryan Rockhold, number 417, taking off.
Now, poor old Ryan's had some terrible luck recently. I mean, how many? This is 4th motor in
I
as many
believe
races?
so. He's had some bad luck.
Oh, look at Shannon. Shannon is going full bore here.
Campbell giving it all he's got.
Oh, this is going to be quick. We're waiting for it to update. I can tell you that Bailey Campbell has moved into 8th position.
For Shannon Campbell.
Well,
so
I
a
thought
great
it was-
run we thought.
Yeah, I thought it was faster than that. So at the moment, our unofficial top 5 in 5th position, Ted Dowker.
In 4th spot is Brian Crofts.
In 3rd is Vaughn Gittins Jr.
And number 2 is Cade Rod.
And in 1st place is that man. It is Paul Wolf.
And we're back on screen with Brian Rockhold.
And Brian Rockhold is our last qualifier. Look at this full power assault here as he makes his way to the line.
What a great day of qualifying for the 2023 Can-Am Visions event. This is Ultra4 USA qualifying, and we just wrapped it up. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media.
Yep.
Go to speedsport.tv, AOE.tv. Go to all our Mid-America and Mid-America and Ultra4 USA Facebook and Instagrams. Check everything out. So let's go over our top 10 real quick.
Okay, in 10th position, we have Paul Herschel.
In 9th spot is Christopher Branton.
In 8th is Bailey Campbell.
In 7th spot is Lauren Healy.
In 6th is Chad Hunt,
In 5th spot is Tad Dowker.
who is also our highest placed solid axle car. In 4th, it is Brian Crofts.
In 3rd is Vaughn Gittins Jr.
In 2nd, it's Cade Rod.
And pole setter getting those 14 extra points. Mid-America Outdoors Ambassador 1018 of Paul Wolf.
What a fantastic day of qualifying here, Miles. It's been absolutely incredible. We are going to have so much incredible race action here at the 2023 Visions Off-Road presented by Can-Am here at Mid-America at Jay, Oklahoma. Miles, What do you think?
It's been a great way to start out this event for Ultra4 USA. Thanks again for everybody who has tuned in. Again, I am Miles Hasquist alongside Mr. Jim Marsden. Don't forget to tune in. The rodeo is tonight. We still have action all week long with America Pro Rock. We have the MAO side-by-side, the trucks, Nitro Cross, Nitro Circus. There is so much going on. Be sure to go to our website, check it out. We are going to sign off, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the 4900 stock and open, and then at 3 p.m. will be the 4900 Pro Mod. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. will be the 4600 Spider Track stock class. So be sure to tune in, and we will see you the rest of the week.